can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Increasing sunshine through the afternoon, but windy. Winds becoming northwest, gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, and it will be a chilly night tonight. After mid-60s this afternoon, we're going to drop it down to 42. Could be some patchy frost up in the north. Tomorrow's sunny with a high of 67.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon down 214 points to 47,348.
June out into the open. June down the far sideline. Fights off a tackler. June's going to take it to the house. 10-5 touchdown. Carolina. The Blue Devils pounce, and it's over. Duke has won in Death Valley.
Fans rush the field. Zeros on the clock. NC State's a winner and knocks off undefeated top 10 Georgia Tech.
Jansen the snap. Martin the hold. Fitzgerald drives the leg. The kick is up. It is good.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Monday. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox producing the show. What a weekend. What a weekend. Specifically for the football teams that we covered. UNC gets their first legit power conference ACC win. As bad as you look at Syracuse. It all counts for the Bill Belichick era. Duke beats Clemson. First time they've won at Clemson in decades.
1980.
Is that longer than decades?
Yeah, 4.5 of them.
Almost half a century. NC State beats number 8 in the country, Georgia Tech. Carolina upsets Green Bay in Lambeau, meaning that's the Carolina Panthers. And we have a Monday sound-off coming up at 4:15. So if you want to sound off, gloat, get excited, point out the flaws, whatever you want to do. It's a Monday sound-off. You get to sound off. That's at 4:15, and we want to hear from you. So get ready. 4:15, we'll open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline for your calls. But for right now, it is time for the big three at 3.
Number 1.
Carolina Panthers beat the Green Bay Packers. The Carolina Panthers beat the Green Bay Packers. Was it pretty? No. Was it everything went right? No. Was it a win on the road over one of the best teams in the NFC, 16-13? You're darn right. Now, we can argue about how long it took him to get there, but Rico Dowdle. If you give him 25 touches, good things happen. Defense, bend but don't break. Defense and Dowdle. Call it the Dungeons and Dragons. Call it the D&D. Call it Dowdle and defense. That's what this team looks like when they're at their best this season. The defense bent but didn't break. Didn't force a punt, but only gave up 13 points. The offense ran through Rico Dowdle, who had another big game, and they came away with the drive when they needed it to win the game 16-13. And I'll say it like this. There is not a Panther fan among the group that would not have signed up to be 5-4 at this point in the season if it was offered at the beginning of the season. Especially if the argument included you get a win over the Cowboys and a win at the Packers. According to CBS Sports Research, this is one of my favorite stats of the year for the Panthers. According to CBS Sports Research, the Panthers are just the second NFL team since 1970, so decades, to have a winning record through 9 games despite being an underdog in every single one of them. Not once has the opening line said the Panthers are favored in this game, yet they've won 5 of the 9 they have played. All that, nobody believes in us, but those inside these 4 walls, it's probably true for the Panthers. And you know what? Don't limit it to just the sports books, because I didn't hear a lot of people screaming all these games like, what? That line is wrong. They've got the wrong team favored. No, everybody's kind of like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe the Jets game. Maybe the Jets game was the only one that felt like, there was some actual blowback and the wrong team was favored. But other than that, I think most people agreed with it, and the Panthers have just proven you wrong. Even fans that are hoping for them, they've like, hey, I hope they beat the Packers, but let's be real. Like, that's how most people went into the game this weekend, and they won. Now, there will be arguments. Actually, there will be arguments for multiple games across the sports sphere from this past weekend that perhaps the other team gave it to you, right? Perhaps the other team's mistakes loomed large. Listen, if they're going to open the door, you have to be there ready and willing to walk through it. If they're going to throw you an absolute gift of an interception, you better catch it. If they're going to go for it on 4th and 8, you better be there to knock the pass down. Or try to catch it and knock it down. Either way, you got to walk through the door. Panthers beat the Packers. They are 5-4. Not quite in the playoff picture, but they're knocking on that door as well. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
I brought it up. The 3 triangle football teams, for the first time this year, a win. Duke beats Clemson 46-45 in a game that could only be rivaled in craziness by maybe the Bengals game, the Bengals-Bears game. It felt very much like that. It was just up and down and crazy call and crazy play and blown coverage and bad referees call and gophering it on 4th down. Duke got the win over Clemson. 46-45 and went for the 2, which I really liked. And we'll talk about that as the show goes on. But they scored the touchdown, looked like to tie it at 45. They go for 2. They win the game. Darian Mensah, that's why you pay him. That's what he did. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 360-some-odd yards.
Dude's good.
He's efficient, talented. I've been saying it since preseason. He looks like a when I say professional, not like an NFL quality quarterback, although maybe. Professional in that, like, the way he carries himself, his poise is very much like, this is what I'm here to do. Here's what we're going to do. And then he did it. UNC beat Syracuse 27-10, which is simultaneously a very good defensive performance confusing an experienced quarterback for Syracuse and bottling up their offense, but also it's their high water mark against an FBS team, against a power conference team for the offense, 27 points. And I've got a couple questions for you here. Dennis, I feel like this is the third time we've said, Damon June is your back. Let him have the backfield. I'm starting to get Rico Dowdle vibes. Like, if he can do this, let him keep doing it, right? He's popped on screen a few times this year, and they haven't really given him the bell cow role. I have to imagine after what he put on the screen, what he put on tape this week, it's his, right? Now you're making sure you get him a whole bunch of carries, whole bunch of catches, and you kind of build your offense around him or around the running game featuring Damon June, the freshman. Either way, 27-10, Bill Belichick, first win against an ACC opponent. That is very important for what UNC is trying to build. And then NC State beat number 8 in the country, Georgia Tech, 48-36. We'll talk about this one at 3:15. There's a lot to get to. But I'll say this. Obviously says something wildly impressive about the offense. He scored 48 points. Doesn't answer many questions about the defense, but the win does make it feel all the much better. All that much more better. All good. Just winning an old-school, old-fashioned shootout. And Haynes King was on the other side going, six-shooter for six-shooter with you for a while. But State gets the win by 12. Game over. Big win for State.
If I would have told you, Tim, back on Friday, that Haynes King would have over 500 yards of offense, and I said, if that happened, would State win this game?
And Hollywood Smothers doesn't play.
Oh, yeah, and Justin Jolie doesn't play.
Yeah.
If I would have told you all that on Friday, you probably would have said State doesn't win this game.
Probably would have said, I hope State kept it close.
Insane.
That is an old-school shootout. And that's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
If there was the one blemish on the weekend, Canes drop one on the road Saturday afternoon in Boston, 2-1. It was 2-0 until a late goal from Alexander Nikishin. We'll looking towards tomorrow night's game, it appears as if there's going to be some shaking up of the lines for the Canes. It did feel, for the first time really, felt like some guys needed to be woken up. Alexander Nikishin was doing his thing. I thought Seth Jarvis, who played despite the ankle, I guess, injury. I don't even know if it gets deemed an injury in the NHL when you don't miss a game. Seth Jarvis played, proving his tough guy credentials. I thought at times he had a little pep in his step trying to spark a comeback, and I liked that. But I see why, if Rod Brindamore does end up experimenting with some lines and shaking it up, why he's doing it after watching that game. Obviously, you hold Boston to no goals through the first 2 periods. It's a frustrating loss because you're looking at your forwards going, you got to score. If we're doing that kind of job on defense and through 2 periods they're scoreless, we got to take that opportunity to try to go for the jugular. Instead, you end up losing 2-1. Alexander Nikishin did score, which is always good to see.
And let's be honest, some of the top guys have gone a little stale in 5-on-5 in the goal production. It's okay to shake things up. You're not married to this. You're not, or at least you're not. It's not set in stone. Like, the lines could shuffle after one shift.
And by the way, there was some shuffling in game.
Oh yeah,
against Boston, and I think this is a continuation of that. But I've been saying it for a while. The first month or 2, it's information gathering.
Oh yeah,
let's go see what Ehlers looks like around some different guys. Let's go see what Svech looks like when you bring him back up near the top. Like, let's go see. It's not permanent. This isn't written in Sharpie. It's written in pencil. You can always erase and go back.
And Ehlers skating with Stankoven and Blake. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like.
It's intriguing.
It is.
It's intriguing to say the very least. But they have another 24 hours to figure all that out.
Oh, by the way, Pyotr Kochekov called back up from Chicago. He got 1 start down there in his conditioning stint, so don't be surprised if he suits up tomorrow in some way, shape, or form. He might back up Freddie Anderson. He might even get the start. You never know.
It would be intriguing. I'm just going to use that a lot. Intriguing.
It would be.
And also, it does look like they're going to carry 3 goalies for a while, which I don't thwart that at all. I don't talk down upon that at all. All three. We haven't seen Pyotr Kochetkov yet, but we've seen the other two, and they've been doing all right. So let's protect them.
You don't want to risk losing Brandon Bussey right now.
At all. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's just a taste. That's the big three at 3 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, how big of a win was it for Dave Doran and NC State? They beat the number 8 team in the country in Georgia Tech when darn near nobody thought they would. How big was it? Stick around.
Hello, I'm Jen, and I work in the service department with Newcomb & Company in the Triangle. I've worked at Newcomb & Company for over a decade and can tell you firsthand our comfort contract is hands down the best way to stay worry-free and comfortable in your home. In fact, the program works so well, we have over 4,000 customers who use it. Folks love it because when you sign up for the comfort contract, you get the best service Newcomb offers. We prioritize contract members with same-day service, priority scheduling, and emergency after-hours calls. So there's no waiting when your system needs help. On top of that, Newcomb & Company is a proud independent train dealer. We back exceptional train products with our expert service, and we treat your home like it's our own. It's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to beat Newcomb & Company service. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com to learn more about our comfort contract. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, we've served veterans and their families for over 90 years, and we continue to serve over 2 million veterans because their contributions inspire our service. And this Veterans Day, we want to tell you that when you're a member, you'll have access to exclusive rates, discounts, and financial tools. Plus, we're partnering with Travis Manion Foundation's Veterans Day of Service campaign, connecting veterans and families of the fallen with local volunteer opportunities. Become a member at NavyFederal.org/veterans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
Snap at the Georgia Tech 31. Bailey, handoff. Scott sees Part, sprints 20. Duke Scott 10, touchdown! Deal sealer, Duke Scott. 31 yards down the near sideline. NC State's going to upset 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, and Carter Finley loses its mind.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. NC State. Just when I thought we could write them off, they bring us right back in. 48-36 win over number 8 in the country, Georgia Tech. If you want to sound off on that game or any other game from over the weekend, we'll open up the phone lines for Monday sound off at 4:15, just about 1 hour from now. So you can set an alarm in your phone, in your calendar, whatever you set alarms in. If you have an old egg timer, you can do that as well.
Turn over the hourglass.
Wind that bad boy up. Turn over the hourglass. 4:15, Monday sound off for all of your calls. You can bookmark the number as well or write it down. 919-860-5326. That's the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Lines will be open in about an hour. State beat Georgia Tech. And I said it last week, and I'm glad I said it, but also I wish I had an explanation for it other than like the Cosmos. I said it on this show. I said it on Pack Therapy, the podcast I co-host with Mike Lennon. Didn't it just seem like the most Dave Doranist thing to win that game? Right? It's the moment when you feel like, geez, it's really going bad. Back's against the wall. If you don't win one of these next 2 ranked opponent games, you're in a lot of trouble. You're not going to have a leg to stand on. Oh, okay. He just goes and wins it. Oh, by the way, we're going to take away Hollywood Smothers and Justin Jolie. Outside of C.J. Bailey, probably your 2 most likely future pros. We'll just take them away. Cool. We'll turn things over to Duke Scott, backup running back, who's going to have himself a day. 24 carries, 196 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. Also had 2 catches for 11 yards. But that's, I mean, the only reason to bring that up is because he now gets over 200 total yards. If you want that total yards number to start with a 2, that's what you do. Dave Doeren, after the game, talked about the big day for Duke Scott out of the backfield.
I'm not surprised at all. I mean, that was the 16th ranked rushing defense in the ACC. We thought we could run the football on them. They play a lot of cover 2, which gives you an opportunity numbers-wise to hand the ball off and run it. And Duke's way faster than people know. You know, that's why we've made him a kickoff returner. Obviously, we didn't tonight because he had more on his plate in the backfield. But I'm not surprised. I mean, you come to practice every day since he's been here, and you see what kind of electric player he is. And all through high school, the kind of player he was there. So we got a really good tandem in that backfield. And tonight he had to step up and take on the entire load. And obviously he did a tremendous job.
This is that, by the way, none of that is 2020 hindsight for Dave Doeren. We talked to him at ACC kickoff, and I asked him about Hollywood Smothers' ability to be like a true bell cow because he's a little under 200 pounds. At least that's what he was listed last year. And the first thing Dave Doeren said was, "Well, we got Duke Scott too, and he's going to be a surprise."
Oh yeah, he mentioned that unsolicited.
Very quick. And the funny part is Hollywood Smothers was so good through the first part of the year that it almost was like, well, I don't know if we're going to get to see Duke Scott. He misses a game because he's hurt, and Duke Scott steps in and goes, all right, I'm going to make my coach look smart here. I'm going to go buck wild over Georgia Tech. And it was not a one-trick show for NC State. C.J. Bailey, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, no interceptions, also ran for a touchdown. So that's the kind of balance you're looking for. That was and by the way, that's what they needed, right? This was not stat padding. This was not, all right, we're up by a couple scores. We want to get our running back some yards. We want to get our quarterback some yards. We want to take care of this guy, that guy. It was an old school shootout. Haynes King, quarterback for Georgia Tech, who we've talked about we're a fan of when he's not playing one of the local teams, 408 yards through the air. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also ran 20 times for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. 500 yards of total offense. So every time Duke Scott had a big run, every time C.J. Bailey threw a touchdown pass, there was Haynes King matching them, or at least staying on their tail and nipping at their heels, ready to take advantage of any mistakes, and State's offense didn't blink. Obviously, doesn't say the best stuff about NC State's defense, right? Haynes King is, don't get me wrong, we're a big fan, really good, but he's not a 500 total yards player against a defense that has their dots or I's dotted and T's crossed. So even with a giant win over the number 8 team in the country, you're still moving forward with questions about the defense. It just shows the ceiling for that offense. Wins over UVA and Georgia Tech are pretty good trophies for the wall, right? They're pretty good. Like if you're a hunter and you get them like taxidermied, right? Each win is pretty good sized buck to put over your fireplace.
And Virginia's ranked, I think, 12th down the AP.
Both they're legit wins. They are legit wins. The issue is with the defense being what it is. And I don't know if there's a magic elixir there. I don't know if there's an antidote, right? The defense is what it is, and they're going to try to make the few plays they need to give the offense a chance. But with the defense being what it is, the challenge is this has to be the standard for the offense. And that is a tall request. All right, you got to score 40. You got to score 40 plus. If you want to win by 2 scores, you got to score darn near 50. That's now what you expect out of this team. Which means, C.J. Bailey, I know you're a young quarterback. The consistency is the hardest thing for a quarterback. It's a requirement, right? These pass catchers, Justin Joly in the game or Justin Joly out of the game, it is a requirement that you make plays for your quarterback. Duke Scott, offensive line. It is a requirement, even when you're not playing the 16th best rush defense in the ACC. You may not have to run for 196 on 24 carries, but you have to keep the chains moving. 48-36 is not how many coaches draw up their wins, unless it's like 2007 in the Big 12.
I was literally just thinking that. It was like an early 2000s Big 12 game.
It's Sam Bradford against Colt McCoy. You're like you're Graham Harrell next week. Like
Yep.
that's the only place where 48-36 somewhere Mike Leach is smiling. Like that's the only style of play that leads to this intentionally. And just so you know, Dave Doran has never been that guy. Pros and cons to both ways, but he's not looking to run a Mike Leach style game. He wants to run the ball, control the clock, play defense, and maybe this is his realization that that's not possible with this roster. But the offense is the NC State offense now has maybe one of the simultaneously most fun and most daunting rest of the seasons. Because there's not a single drive they're going to have the rest of the year that they don't get to push the pedal to the metal, right? They get to floor it and go see what they can do. But also, the only way they're going to win games is if they complete it, right? They gotta put the pedal to the floor and not go into the wall. They have to find a way to score a ton of points.
They got a bye week this week, then they got to go on the road to Miami, a team that's gettable by looks. I mean, not going to be an easy game, but that could be another top 25 win this season for NC State. Then you finish at home against Florida State and at home against Carolina.
A win like this could potentially change your season, right? Because if you, and by the way, Miami, as you mentioned, looks gettable. They also look like if your defense misses a few assignments, they'll put up 45 on you.
They'll get you too.
So if you build off this, go into the bye week, hit Miami, get that win, then you have very winnable games down the stretch. You're looking at a completely different team if everything goes your way. But I don't think the margin for error is big. I think you're going to have to if you do what I just described, you're probably going to have to average 40 down the stretch. Maybe not against North Carolina, but that's the last one on your list anyway. Don't look that far ahead. But gosh, it's just so Dave Doran. Oh, everybody's writing us off? Sounds about time for me to fire up some bourbon and cigars after this one, boys. CJ Bailey, not Hollywood, goodness, Duke Scott, lead the way. And that's exactly what happened.
I think that's what makes it so frustrating for NC State fans is like you can win this game. Like you win this one, but then you lose 23-21 to Virginia Tech at home.
Not an exaggeration, specifically on the offense. If they played 40% as well as they played offensively against Georgia Tech, against Virginia Tech, they win that game.
Yeah.
They don't have to play as well. They just had to play some fraction of as well as the offense played against Georgia Tech, against Virginia Tech. And they win that game probably by multiple scores. And you're right, that is 100% the frustrating part. It's like a boxer that doesn't start boxing until they get punched in the face. It's like, why do you have to absorb 3 hits to the dome before you wake up? Just wake up from the jump. He's like, yeah, well, I got to taste my own blood a little bit. I don't pretend to understand that logic. I don't pretend to understand how this works, but I do know that you felt it up of this week. It's like, wouldn't it be the most Dave Doran thing to win this game? Then we have a 10-minute conversation about why they won't.
Yeah.
But it felt like one of those Dave Doran games.
I know. We even said it as well on Friday. It's like, Georgia Tech is always due to get upset at some point. This was the one.
It was very much just feeling like both sides were due.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't. I don't want to speak for everybody. I didn't see a lot of logical reasons, especially with the injuries they were dealing with. But college football is a funny place.
It is.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, and we'll talk more about that funny place of college football and college sports in the Dean's List. Before we do that, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I know a lot of you all have been following my journey with Raleigh Weight Loss Center for the last 3 months now. Actually, a little over 3 months with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I'm down 42 pounds. 42 pounds. I actually played a hockey game yesterday. I'm going to need to get some new equipment because some of my equipment is actually falling off of me right now because of the weight that I've lost. But I was actually just talking with some of my teammates in the locker room, and they were asking me about it. They're like, hey, it's like, tell me more about the program. I said, did you really lose 42 pounds? And I said, yeah, I actually have. And people can visibly see the difference. Actually, a guy I played hockey with last night, hadn't seen him since before the summer because he was gone during the summertime. He just looked at me and goes, yo, how much weight did you lose? It's like one of the first things he said to me. It's noticeable, and it's a real thing. And I get asked about the program a lot, and I want to make sure I clarify some things with people. No shots or injections, so none of the side effects or anything that go along with that. So no shots, no injections. You're not doing steroids or HGH. You're not juicing up any of those kinds of things. It's just Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and their goal over there is to reset and restart your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing, which is burn off fat, burn off weight when it needs to. That's what the goal is at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Not just lose the weight, but maintain it as well. If you have questions about the program, give them a call. 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Again, 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. That's right, a free 15-minute phone call. If you have questions, get them answered. Free 15-minute phone call, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, hits the Dean's List. Up next, don't go anywhere.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. With the Federal Reserve cutting rates, the most frequent question we get is, do I wait for rates to go lower, or should I take the savings and just act now? At Miller Lending, we toss all the timing questions aside with our popular no-cost program. With no fees charged or added to your loan amount, you simply close on today's rates and refinance again as rates fall. With many economists predicting rates in the 5s next year, why pay upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 in closing costs just to get a rate you may get for no cost next spring? Imagine the freedom to use that money for more important things than reducing your payment by the extra $50. Recently, we've noticed a trend of related party transactions as some of the nation's largest lenders have bought real estate or mortgage lead sites, driving closing costs even higher. Please don't throw away all that cash or equity when all you wanted was a lower payment. Call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is the right loan for you. 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at MillerLending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender on MLS number 250-2146.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, you know? Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out the Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Here's Mintz to the snap, rolls to the right, fires, Higgins, he'll take it in, and Duke has the lead, 46 to 45 with 40 seconds to go.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's what it sounded like when Duke went for 2. Eventually ended up being the winner as they beat Clemson. I say eventually. That was like right at the end. They ended up beating Clemson 46-45. Crazy game. maybe one of them will be on the Dean's List. Maybe a couple of them will. Who knows? But if you have reactions to that game, UNC getting their first ACC win under Belichick, State getting a potentially season-changing win, Carolina Panthers getting the win, Carolina Hurricanes getting the loss, whatever you want to talk about. We have the Monday sound-off where we open up the phone lines coming up at 4:15. Phone lines will be open at 4:15, so be here for that. We want to hear from you. In the meantime, let's put class in session and get to the Dean's List. I'll get it started, and we will start right there with Duke. You got to put Darian Mensah in the Dean's List. Quarterback for Duke, 27 of 41, 361 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He came into the game with the highest per-game passing average in the country. And then up to that passing average by throwing for about 40 more yards than he had averaging coming in.
I was about to say, is that good?
That's very good. And in a game like that, there were times where you knew he's going to drop back and throw this thing. And Clemson has still multiple projected first-rounders on their defensive front. Still a projected first-rounder in their defensive secondary. Still one of the best college linebackers out there. Even with how much Clemson is struggling, they're still seen kind of individually as those kinds of talents. And he carved them up. And I have to give a side Dean's Lister here. Luke Murgott, fellow Stephen Decatur Seahawk High School, along with myself. His mom, Miss Fenzel Murgott, was my math teacher. Started the year as a depth linebacker. Led him in tackles, though. 12 tackles to lead Duke against Clemson.
Look at that.
Got the move up in the linebacker depth chart due to some injuries, taking advantage of it. Way to go, Luke. Shout out to the Seahawks. More Dean's List. Actually, do you have a Dean's List you'd like to throw on there?
Actually, I have a couple throw on there. ACC Players of the Week. We had Darian Mensah was ACC Quarterback of the Week.
These came out today, right? I didn't
came
see
out
them
today.
yet. Okay.
Duke Scott was named running back.
NC State.
Offensive lineman T. Anderson from NC State.
If you run for almost 200 yards with one running back, your lineman and your running back being award winners makes sense.
So Duke Scott not only was the running back of the week, he was also the rookie of the week. And Melkart Abojodu, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, from North Carolina, was the defensive lineman of the week. I know he had a forced fumble against Syracuse as well. And Samir Hagans from Duke was the A specialist of the week. A lot of triangle representation over here. But Tim, I also want to throw a UNC running back Damon June on this list as well. So I'm not sure if you saw the stat. I know how much you enjoy these kinds of things.
I do love stats.
But Real Analytics, saw this on X earlier today. Analytics.
I know them. It's a speed stat.
Exactly. Speed stat. You know the 10th fastest clocked time anyone in the country this week at 20.6 miles per hour?
Damon June,
UNC running back. 20.6 miles per hour.
That on the 72-yard catch and run?
Yeah.
Yeah. Real Analytics is I follow them on Twitter. I think they've got some kind of technology where they can watch film and based on how quickly they're passing yard markers and stuff. They know how fast they're going on the GPS. And it's cool to see when somebody gets really cranking. It's like, they get the little miles per hour on top of their head. Mm-hmm. And it's like, 19, 20, 20.6. It's pretty cool.
I'm shifting into second gear at that point.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably shifting into driving in a car if I'm going over 20 miles per hour.
Oh, I meant for my motorcycle. That's what I meant.
I'm definitely not doing it on foot. Damon June was also on my Dean's list. Just the 15 touches, 182 total yards, a couple of touchdowns.
It's a big weekend for running backs in the state of North Carolina.
It's very big. Yeah, if you include Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Except for Duke. Nate Shepard was solid, but they were getting done through the air for the most part. By the way, I don't know how to pronounce his name either. Melkar Abu Jaoud, I think is how you pronounce it.
I really am sorry for mispronouncing his name.
He transferred from Delaware.
Well, see, there you go.
They pilfered our guy. We'd be bowl eligible by now if he stuck around, but I'm sure there's a nice little chunk of change he got at UNC, so happy for him. More Dean's List here. How about this one? Former NC State linebackers. Because Drake Thomas for Seattle.
That's right.
absolutely lighting it up. And the cool part about that is he's lighting it up like way more than he's been a special teamer kind of hopefully at different times in his career. Now he is not only playing a ton for Seattle as a linebacker, but he's lighting it up. 8 tackles, 1 sack, a pass defensed, and a quarterback hit in Seattle's smoking victory over Washington last night on Sunday Night Football. But that's become almost like the norm. Like, that's what you expect from Drake Thomas when he gets in the game now, which is obviously a very good thing. Elsewhere, Peyton Wilson, another former NC State linebacker for your Steelers there, Dennis. He's been lighting it up all year, but Steelers beat the Colts, who the Colts were on fire, right? Beat the Colts 27-20. Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor bottled up more so than they've been this year. Peyton Wilson, career-high 14 tackles, 10 of them solo, an interception. He also batted back a pass that was intercepted by his teammate, so it's really he earned it. But so 2 pass breakups, 1 for an interception. Just an unreal game. He's all over the place. Now, lastly on the Dean's list, I guess we have to put the Baylor women's basketball team. Duke already played. Duke and UNC opened up their women's basketball schedules today. Duke ranked 7th in the country. Baylor ranked 16th, played in Paris.
Yeah.
Which is a cool experience for the players.
For sure.
Baylor did win 58-52. So, I guess to the winner goes the spoils, if you will.
Baguettes for everyone.
Toby Fournier for Duke, who's one of their better players, 16 points. Also 10 rebounds. So nice little double-double. Maybe we'll put her on the Dean's list.
There you go.
Even though the team didn't get the win. UNC did get the win in dominant fashion. They were playing a different opponent, not ranked. North Carolina Central. Final score 90-42. So we'll throw the women's basketball team from UNC on the list. Very diversified scoring. Whole bunch of different players in double figures.
I know we'll dive into this here in just a few minutes, but college basketball officially starts today. We have NC State at home tonight against NC Central. UNC's at home tonight against, was it Central Arkansas?
Central Arkansas, correct.
And a lot of Centrals in town.
When you start to get directional teams in a lot of different places, that usually means, well, these games are supposed to be wins. When you start getting Westerns and Easterns and Centrals, that usually means this one's likely a win if you're a top program. But that's expected at the beginning of the year. And Dennis did tip it off, maybe tease it a little bit there. Spoiler alert. We have winners and losers coming up, but we're going to focus in on our predictions for ACC men's basketball. But before we do that, I have to tell you all about Maynard Service Company. Oh, yeah, we have to dismiss the Dean's list as well. Thank you, Bell. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. It's here. I mean, you walk outside, you don't know if you need a hoodie, a jacket, a T-shirt. It's November in North Carolina. And what that means is you don't know when you get home if you need to flip on the heater, start a fire, you want to get the air conditioner going because you had the heater running and it's actually hot outside. There's a lot of different things about this time of year when it comes to controlling the temperature in your house and making it as comfortable as you can. But no matter what system you're working, heating, cooling, Maynard Service Company, they can maintain it, right? Maintenance, get them to come in and check out your system, whether it's running well or not, to make sure it continues running well. And if it's not running well, that's exactly why you call them, right? Get them in, get them working on your system as quick as you can, because there's no reason to wait. And then that goes for your plumbing and electrical as well. We have the holidays coming up. Right? If you're going to have 20, 30 people in your house, maybe for a big meal, a gathering, you're going to watch a game, you want to get that plumbing checked out. You want to make sure everything's running smooth because, a lot of people means a lot of flushes, if you know what I mean. You don't want to put an extra test on a system that's not working that well. Electric as well, right? If something's not working right, if that outlet that was always working isn't, whatever it is, or it's a more emergency situation, Maynard Service Company, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, they do it all. So take this number down and give them a call. 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online at MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Winners and losers is coming up next, but really we're making predictions for this ACC men's basketball season. Stick around.
Looking for serious power and a serious deal? It's truck season at Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford, and you can get 5.9% financing for 84 months on the tough, dependable GMC Sierra 2500. Whether it's for work, play, or both, the Sierra 2500 brings the muscle, and Wilkinson makes it easy to drive one home today. See dealer for details. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months, zero interest?
12 months, zero interest, zero payments for 12 months.
Zero payments and zero interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
It is I, Juan Carlos Santiago del Santiago, the coolest man in the world. Yes, I am back in Raleigh. Do I go downtown with so many places to party? No, I go to the Syracuse place. The good food, the fine drinks, the coldest of beers, and of course, the many, many beautiful people. I always hang at the Syracuse place, the coolest bar in the world, because, well, it was built for me. Juan Carlos Santiago del Santiago, the coolest man in the world. The Syracuse place, 8800 de Raleigh Road by the Shelley Station.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Trimble challenges the shot. It's short, no good. Wilson, one hand cuffs the rebound, and the freshman on the run. Caleb Wilson, coast to coast for the finger roll.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is the sweet spot on the sports calendar, particularly in this area. Canes in the swing of things. NFL in the swing of things. College football in the swing of things. College basketball starts up in earnest today. All right, you got exhibition games, you had training camp, you had some games that matter start today. Women's basketball already has been playing. Men start up tonight with NC State and UNC in action against, bye games. They're supposed to win them. But either way, Duke starts up tomorrow against Texas, by the way. Either way, before those games get started, we have to get our predictions on wax. So we're going to shoehorn them into winners and losers here a little bit by starting it up like this.
This team will never lose again.
So we're just going to say, if we pick you as a preseason award winner, you're a winner. And if we don't, some of you might think of that as a loser. But hey, we're not splitting hairs here. Dennis, what order do you want to go in for these?
Let's see. We have a lot of different categories. We'll pick Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, ACC Champion, biggest ACC surprise, and also might be the most disappointing team in the ACC. Let's actually, we're gonna go a little interesting route. Give me your ACC Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I think this one, Coach of the Year, more so than any other award, is kind of narrative driven. Mm-hmm. I'm going Will Wade. I'm going Will Wade at NC State. Yeah. I think you need to have a dramatic improvement year over year, and I think they will based on who they've brought in. I think there's already a narrative building that he's this, instigator, this shake-up guy that's coming in and taking names and as long as they are top 5 in the ACC, I think he has a good chance to win the award, especially because, like, Pat Kelsey last year kind of got that, if they're good now, it's not a surprise at Louisville. If obviously if Duke's good, it's not a surprise. If UNC wins, even if it's a big improvement, it's like, yeah, but you're UNC, you're supposed to. State has a little bit of the underdog mentality, and I think that's kind of a requirement for this award. So give me Will Wade.
All right, I'm with you on that one. Will Wade, like you said, a lot of it's narrative-driven. I also gave consideration to Ryan Odom at Virginia.
Interesting.
Because if Virginia can have a bounce back, again, no Tony Bennett last year because he elected to retire just before the season started. I can see if he can get UVA to turn back around fast, I can see Ryan Odom potentially as well.
And any of the new coaches are obviously in the mix if there's a dramatic improvement. And with the transfer portal, you never really know which team's going to pop out of nowhere. So a couple different options.
All right, so that's ACC Coach of the Year. You and I both have Will Wade of NC State. Let's go with, there's a lot of incoming freshmen. Let's go Rookie of the Year in the ACC.
ACC Rookie of the Year, I'm going Caleb Wilson, UNC.
Really?
I think part of it is narrative-driven in that he's not being mentioned in the same conversations as some of the other freshmen. And I think UNC is going to depend on him a lot for a bunch of different reasons. I think his defense is going to be stellar, and I think he brings an offensive skill set that is underrated right now. So Caleb Wilson.
Okay, I'm going to go Cameron Boozer because I think
probably a betting favorite, I'd assume.
I'm going to tip my hand on my conference champion, but I think he's going to be the top guy on the best team in the ACC. That's going to lean a lot of votes towards him. But you had me convinced. I was like, do I go Caleb Wilson?
I mean, 5-star, 8th overall recruit, 6'10", 6'11", can run, can jump with the best of them on a team that doesn't have too many they have other very good players, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not like they have a bunch of other super hypey players that'll take away all that.
Yeah, he's going to be the wow player probably. Whereas Duke might have a couple.
Yep.
For sure. Maybe even 3. All right, so that's ACC Rookie of the Year. We've done Coach of the Year. Let's actually go and get into your biggest surprise in the ACC this upcoming year.
Speaking of players at Duke that might be stars.
Okay.
I'm putting Isaiah Evans as the biggest surprise.
Really?
I don't know if people remember, he wasn't even starting last year. Do you remember at the beginning of last year? He was getting DNP, did not play coaches' decisions.
Yeah.
By the end, I mean, flamethrower from 3, during certain parts where Cooper Flagg was not playing due to injury, Isaiah Evans was one of their main guys. I think he's due for a huge step up. I think he's an all-ACC first-team guy. I'm a big fan. He's one of the, when we started up the Dean's List, it was kind of right at the beginning of the season last year, right at the beginning of sports season last year. He was one of the first, he's on the Dean's List a lot because he just kept doing things that I like. Most of those were coming in at the end of blowouts and knocking down shots and being ready, cold off the bench until eventually he was playing more minutes. I think he's going to be a leader for that Duke team.
Mine's actually going to be Pitt under Coach Capel.
Oh, you went with the team.
I went with the team as my surprise. They're picked to finish 14th in the ACC.
Capel doesn't finish 14th very often.
No, he doesn't. And this is, again, that's a program that was just in the NCAA tournament just a couple of years ago. And actually you could argue, was pushing for a spot last year. I don't see that program under Capel falling all the way down to 14th in the ACC. I just don't see it. So, surprise, Pitt. I actually even predicted at ACC tip-off that they'd make the NCAA tournament.
I hope they do because I don't know. I think they're better than 14th. I don't know if they're better than 8th or 9th. And I'd like them to make the NCAA tournament as 8th or 9th because that means the ACC is cruising.
I agree. All right, biggest disappointment in the ACC?
I'm going Louisville. Now, I will fully admit that this might be a little local bias, right?
Okay.
But what I really think it is I'm terrified of teams that live and die by the portal. I'm getting strange versions, and I don't think it'll be this bad because basketball is a different sport, but getting strange versions of Florida State football where they hit the transfer portal wildly aggressive and it worked. They hit on every single player. So they went back and hit the portal aggressively again, got 3 of the top guys. And if it just doesn't fit together, no matter how good they are individually, if it doesn't fit together, it could lead to a disappointment. So I think they're picked, second in most places in the ACC. I don't think they're finishing 14th, But if they finish outside the top 4, if they don't have that, double super duper awesome bye in the ACC tournament, I could see that being a huge disappointment. So it's going to be Louisville.
I said Louisville as well.
Really?
'Cause I
thought I was doing something cool there.
No, it's fine. For that exact, along those same lines, they came out of nowhere last year. So the expectation for them is to just sustain that. Pat Kelsey has to prove that he can sustain that at Louisville. Like you said, they might finish 5th or 6th in the conference, still an NCAA tournament team, but they got 15 first-place votes. 15. Yeah. Duke got 34. I think the disappointment based off expectations, Louisville, I'm right there with you. All right, let's go with before we get to Player of the Year, let's go to your ACC champion.
Yeah, I wanted to think different here. Duke. And I'm not even saying I didn't want to pick Duke. I like to think outside the box, and then there's, betting favorite and all that sort of stuff. But every time you do, you find something that you like about another team. You go, yeah, but I think Duke might do that better. And then you find something that you like more about this team, and you go, yeah, but Duke might do that better. I think they're complete. I think John Shire has the program going in the right direction. I think they recruited, obviously, exceptionally well. Didn't hit the portal for, the key guys like they did last year with Sion James, but, Malik Brown still kind of being a remnant of that. Caleb Foster being a veteran. I think they'll be all right. And in a weird way, and this is not an insult to the Cooper Flags of the world, Cam Boozer seems like an older freshman. Caden Boozer seems like an older freshman. Just they seem like maybe they don't need the vet's arm around their shoulder as much. So, give me Duke to be the ACC champion.
Yeah, I'm with you. Most talented roster, Duke. It's pretty straightforward. And final one here, Tim. Give me your ACC Player of the Year.
This is going to be really weird because I picked Caleb Wilson as my Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
I'm going Cam Boozer, Player of the Year.
Interesting.
This is 100% just diversifying my portfolio. I think they could each win. They could each both individually win both of these awards. So I'm spreading my money on the roulette table, hoping more to find one winner. I was going to put one of them as Player of the Year, one of them as Rookie of the Year. Caleb Wilson and Cam Boozer. I think it's going to be an old school Duke Carolina. When they play, it'll be a premier matchup because those two, they're same position. Both are going to have the ball in their hands a ton. I think they're going to guard each other. I'm looking forward to one of those matchups, if you know what I'm getting at there. Like Rashad McCants, JJ Redick, right? Just one of those.
Williams from NC State. Darian Williams, NC State. Because like you said earlier, when we picked our Coach of the Year, we both said Will Wade.
Yep.
If Will Wade is Coach of the Year, that means in my eyes, this NC State team is finishing in the top 4 in the ACC. And in order to do that, he is their best player.
He's the preseason ACC player.
He's the preseason player of the year in the conference. He has to play at that level in order for this team to be a top 4 team in the ACC. In order for Will Wade to win Coach of the Year, in my eyes, that means State's finishing top 4 in the conference, and it's all because of Darian Williams. Not all because, but he's the catalyst. He's the engine that's going to drive that team. Darian Williams.
Darian Williams, I think, has the highest floor in the entire conference.
Mm-hmm.
He is the most guaranteed to get 16-9. And then he might get 20-10, but he's most guaranteed to get 16-9. Talking with him at ACC tip-off, he was pretty set on going to the NBA, and it didn't end up happening. He ends up coming back, going to NC State, obviously. And I asked him, well, what does the NBA want to see? And he was like, well, I let my body get away. I want to get in better shape. So what you're getting is an all Big 12 stud from Texas Tech that almost went pro and then got himself in better shape. So, and is playing for Will Wade, who I think we're all pretty high on. So there's a lot of good there for Darian Williams. There's not, there's probably 4 or 5 guys that aren't bad picks for Player of the Year, which is why I diversified my portfolio and got 2 of them. Anything else we have to pick there?
No,
I think we're good. All right, there we go. Winners and losers / ACC predictions in the books. We'll take a break. When we come back, football at 4. The Panthers win. How? How did they do it on the road at Green Bay? Stick around.
It's Bo time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But Bo can make your tailgate a winner breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, we've served veterans and their families for over 90 years, and we continue to serve over 2 million veterans because their contributions inspire our service. And this Veterans Day, we want to tell you that when you're a member, you'll have access to exclusive rates, discounts, and financial tools. Plus, we're partnering with Travis Manion Foundation's Veterans Day of Service campaign, connecting veterans and families of the fallen with local volunteer opportunities. Become a member at NavyFederal.org/veterans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Turning out to be a pretty day out there. Increasing sunshine through the afternoon, but on the windy side, winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Highs in the mid-60s. Clear and chilly tonight. We drop down into the low 40s, but a pretty day tomorrow with sunshine and back into the mid-60s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 242 points to 47,320.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is a victory Monday for the Carolina Panthers. They beat the Green Bay Packers. They beat the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay, in Lambeau yesterday. 16-13. That's a big win. That is one that can't be discredited. That is not, as we've heard how many times, oh, wow, they went on a 3-game win streak, but look at those defenses. Right? Oh, whoa, you beat the Dolphins, you beat Atlanta. Ooh, no, it's not that. It's you beat one of the best teams in the NFC. And you rendered one of the best players in the entire league completely numb. They didn't have an impact. Micah Parsons, according to, as I bring up the stat here to make sure I have it absolutely correct, according to Next Gen Stats, the Panthers held Packers pass rusher Micah Parsons, the legendary Micah Parsons, the big trade of the offseason / right before the season, Micah Parsons, to no pressures on 21 pass rushes. The first time in his NFL career he did not have a pressure. There's no way you can discredit this one. So how did they do it? Well, I'll tell you how. Defense and Dowdle. Defense and Dowdle. D&D. Defense and Dowdle. And the defense wasn't perfect, and the offense wasn't perfect. But when you start with the baseline of, we're going to get Rico Dowdle 25-plus touches, and our defense is going to do everything it possibly can to make life difficult for the opposing offense, you can maybe, if you get a break here and there, maybe withstand some boo-boos and some ouchies, some mistakes here and there on your own. Rico Dowdle, here's the stat right here, right? And thank goodness the Panthers picked up on this. When Rico Dowdle gets at least 15 touches, 15 or more touches, they are 4-0. Pretty good. When he gets less than 10 touches, they are 0-4. That right there should be enough. So you get him 25 carries alone. He finishes with 130 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and you win the gosh darn game. Because your defense did enough and your offense gave them a chance, just gave them a shot. And it could have been worse, meaning you could have won by more if Bryce Young doesn't throw an interception down there in the red zone. And after that, it became very obviously, let's take the ball out of Bryce's hands as much as we possibly can. And defense and Dowdle made that possible. Here's the crazy part. And I actually went and looked it all up. I have the notepad right here with notes on it. The Packers had the ball 7 times. They had 7 drives. 6 of them should have ended in points. 6 of them, Jordan Love led them down into the point-scoring area. I'm going to tell you how their drives ended. On Carolina's 16-yard line, comfortably in the, if we don't mess this up, we're at least getting 3. Savion Williams fumbled. Roseboom forced it. Nick Scott recovered it. That's going to make Matt LaFleur pull his hair out. Next drive, field goal good from Carolina's 31. Next drive, meaning the drive stalled on Carolina's 31. It was a 48-yard field goal. Next drive, field goal good from Carolina's 8 as half expires. Next drive, missed field goal from Carolina's 25. Comfortably where you should make it. It was a 43-yard miss. That was halftime expiring, by the way.
Windy day.
Windy day. Next one, weird. This is the only one that didn't make it into point-scoring area. Weird launched interception from Jordan Love into triple coverage that Trevon Merrick could have fair caught. That was from their own 24. Again, if they're going to give it to you, you catch it, call it a day. Turnover on downs on Carolina's 13. Wild decision to go for it on 4th and 8. Wild decision to scramble and throw it up to nobody in particular. And then a 71-yard, 12-play touchdown drive to tie the game at 13 with 2:32 left. The Panthers were firmly in the bend but don't break defense realm, right? If you're going to beat us, you're going to have to put together 10, 12, 14 plays without making that one mistake. And more often than not, either the Packers stalled out or they made that one mistake that allowed them to escape unharmed. No punts, 13 points is unreal. The Packers did not punt and scored 13 points. That is a lesson in bend but don't break defense. But let me tell you how it's not completely random, right? The Panthers ran the ball very well. What does that do? That makes their drives longer, right? That means it eliminates clock. So now the Packers get 7 drives instead of 9, right? Because there's less time on the clock. And the Panthers' defense is more rested. So on the 10th play, when you're down in the red zone, they have a bit more when their defense, meaning Packers offense goes on a 10-play drive and you're down in the red zone or down in the scoring area, your defense has that extra energy, that last bit of fight to get the tackle, to get the trip up, which makes them settle for a field goal. It's all connected. Right? If the Packers go out there, go on a 10-play drive, and then the Panthers take over and it's 3 plays and out, all incompletions, the defense goes right back out over and over and over again, they're not going to be as good down in with their backs against their own goal line. If they have to do it 9, 10 times rather than 7, they're not going to be as good backed up against their own goal line. They're going to be exhausted. The running the football, committing to Dowdle, giving him 25 carries, that's what leads the defense to be able to play bend but don't break against a good offense. Granted, a good offense that faced a bit of an obstacle, big obstacle, when Tucker Kraft went down, which, by the way, was confirmed today, ACL. Awful for Tucker Kraft. Having a breakout season, the tight end for the Packers. But it is the way that game played out for the Panthers. That's plan A. Right? You in any form of life, right? In any walk of life, you hope that you plan aggressively for contingencies, for plan B, plan C, plan D, and that you never have to use them. Right? When we go on remote, when we do a remote broadcast from a game, from a store, from somewhere, from a bar, we have, the main way we're going to connect, and we have backups. And guess what? We hope we set up those backups every single time. The phone line, the other connection, the other whatever, the other piece of equipment. And we hope we never have to use them. That's how the Panthers should operate. If we can win this with Dowdle and defense, we hope we don't have to go to anything else. Hope you prepare something else. Hope you never have to go there. And the Packers never pulled away in a game or in any kind of score situation that made the Panthers leave plan A. Since this little run they've been on, the games they've won, they very rarely had to leave plan A. Run the football, play defense. Dave Canales was asked today, speaking with the media, if they've sent a message that they're a tough team to beat.
We're just 1 week at a time, just looking for our group to play to the standard that we have for ourselves. That's what matters the most. To me, it's not about messaging. It's not about sending any message to anybody else but ourselves. Can we recapture the process and the excellence in the week it takes to have positive results on Sunday? And we got to stay locked into that mentality so we can return and get back to work.
Coach speak. No, they did send a message. You're 5-4. That is 100% a message sent. Even if it's not true, right? Even if you're not that scary of a team, 5-4 through an NFL season, through 9 games of an NFL season, teams are assuming you have bite. Teams are assuming you're there for a fight. And I think it is true in the most part for the Panthers. But even if it isn't, you're not sneaking up on anybody now. Message is sent. People hear you.
I remember Dave Canales before the season. I think J.C. Horn said it as well. Is that we're not going to be an easy out. We're going to be a team that you aren't going to enjoy playing week in and week out.
But if
that's exactly what's happened.
If you don't score 14 points in the first quarter, I think you're signing up for a 12-round fight with the Carolina Panthers. Which, by the way, actually, let's hear from Dave Canales first. But there's one more point I want to make, one more shout-out I want to give. But Dave Canales earlier today, because this ties into it, he talked about being able to play with physicality throughout the entire season.
We have to make sure we're smart with how we work our guys. But as long as we have opportunities to pad up, you got to play physical football, at least once a week to make sure that we have the edge, the pad level that's required to play that way, the technique that's required to play that way. And at the same time, you look through your schedule during the week and try to find small margins, try to just put a little bit back in the tank so that we can play that way on Sunday and play for as long as we need to. And that's what I was proud of, too, with the group is, all the way through the game, through the finish, offense, defense, and special team. It was a group that's flying around, playing this game full speed, playing with great effort and violently the way it's supposed to be played.
I want to give a shout-out, talking of physicality. And yes, this game, but really, since week 3, the offensive line. The offensive line. They lost Robert Hunt week 2. Robert Hunt's supposedly their best offensive lineman. They lost him week 2. Do you know what were the worst 2 games they've played? 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Maybe Bills game also, but the Bills, they're good. Robert Hunt hasn't played since week 2. They've had 7 different combinations of offensive line start in 9 weeks. They have not had a single starter play all 9 games. And then all you have is Ike Ekwonu, who's at times in his career been much maligned, and Yosh Nijman, who we didn't talk about. It was a revenge game for Yosh Nijman.
Oh, yeah.
He did play for the Packers.
That's right.
But he's a swing tackle forced into duty, and they blanked Micah Parsons. That's not easy. That's not something to be scoffed at or glanced over. Rico Dowdle is doing great. Do not get me wrong. And obviously there's a difference between him and Chuba Hubbard or him and Trevor Etienne because when he gets the ball, he's doing more with it. But there are a bunch of plays where he's getting to the second level and even if it's like technically after contact, he's running through arm tackles or, somebody grazing him while being engaged with an offensive lineman. The offensive line is doing their part in the run game. I am very impressed by a group that has every excuse in the world.
Well, like you said, different starting combinations nearly every week this year, but then during the game, you got to shuffle up your offensive line as well because Damian Lewis went out for a couple of plays, but comes back in. And then Chandler Zavala, who was out the last 4 weeks because of an injury, he gets hurt. So Jake Curran, who you signed off of Arizona's practice squad a month ago, has to step in and play a majority of the snaps at right guard. Oh, yeah, Zavala was in for Brady Christensen, who tore his Achilles against the Bills, who came in for Chandler Zavala, who got hurt with an ankle injury, who was in for Robert Hunt. Like you said, it's been a revolving door. Now, thankfully, I will say the one thing about this team that I think is carried over from last year to this year is that outside of Jake Curran, the other 9 guys that have played offensive line this season all returned from last year. So you don't have to worry about constantly plugging in a new guy that's fresh with the system or things along those lines. It's been musical chairs, but at least those guys all known each other since the beginning of last year. I think that continuity has helped.
I agree. I agree. I think all that matters. I still don't want to be like, it makes sense that they played. I still just want to give straight kudos.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
For making it happen. I do think that helps. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't make it easy by any stretch.
Oh, 100% agree.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time to open up the phone lines. Monday's Sound Off. Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your calls. Panthers, Canes, college football, college basketball, whatever you want to talk about. 919. I'll start over. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. You can call in now. If you don't get through right away, we will open up lines as the segment goes along, so continue trying. 919-860-5326. Monday Sound Off coming up next.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Bank of America is a nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays are for football. That's why we're here to help you get your next DIY project done, even when the clock isn't on your side. Whether that's a new Filtrete filter or Bosch and Cobalt power tools, Lowe's has everything you need to feel like the MVP of DIY. So get it done and earn your Sunday. Shop now, in-store and online. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
Tossed to Dowdle up the middle. He's got the 5, pushing forward, corkscrews into the end zone for a touchdown.
From my understanding and everything I've learned, we go over stuff like this every week in the meeting room. I definitely think you're supposed to get 2 pumps. Hopefully I don't get a fine.
Rico, man, you got robbed. You only did 2 pumps. I'm sorry, man. I will have to write a new sketch.
I mean, that Key and Peele told us those were the rules. You get 2 hip thrusts, 2 pumps on an NFL celebration before the flag gets thrown. Rico Dowdle very obviously did 2, but not 3. Drew the flag, almost cost him the game.
That's true.
Really did. But it didn't, so no harm, no foul. We can all joke about it. Keegan-Michael Key there with the response. Also known as Hingle McCringleberry. If you get that, you got it. If you don't worry about it. It is time for a Monday sound off here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Heister Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326. You can call in now. If you don't get through, keep trying. Phone lines will open up. Is that Escobar? Escobar from Jacksonville, North Carolina, wants to sound off on the Panthers. He's batting leadoff. Escobar, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Tim, ain't nothing finer than to be in Carolina for a Panthers football game. I'm so happy. We are finally showing some momentum. We are moving forward. And I just got to say, the fact that it took the end of last season to get the 5 wins, and now this season it only took us till week 9, I can't be happier for this team, man.
I love it. I mean, is there anything specific you want to build off of? You're just passing along the positive vibes.
Honestly, I do have to say there is always room for improvement. But like you said, D&D, Dowdle and defense. And I'm going to triple down like I've said before. Don't be surprised if that momentum will beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at least one game this season.
All right. Appreciate the call. And now that you mentioned, I do remember that prediction. So it was definitely crazier when you made it the first time. So thank you, and call back in anytime. How about a division game? I haven't seen the line yet. They might be favored against the Saints coming up this weekend, which would be the first time all year they're favored in the opening line, which would be pretty good deal. A nice little sign of progress.
They better be favored against the Saints. They stink.
You agree with that, but so did the Jets, and they weren't favored. So we'll see.
Actually, early line, Carolina 4.5 favorites.
Okay, so they are favored.
They're favored right now.
Hey, look at that. Way to go, Panthers. Travis and Bowie, you're up next. It's Bowie, Maryland. Wants to sound off on my Blue Hens and Duke basketball. Let's see how that little joint is made. Travis, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim and Dennis, man. I love the show, man. Y'all guys doing a great job. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
My 2 questions is about one about the Blue Hens. What states do you see that we can recruit in heavily to get some good recruits? And then for the Blue Devils, can John Sire finally recruit a point guard, a true point guard? Thank you.
All right, appreciate the call. Call back in anytime on that one. For Delaware, I think you need to recruit the heck out of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Maryland, obviously, kind of being nearby, but Pennsylvania and New Jersey seem to be and Florida, historically. I don't know why we get some good players from Florida, but Pennsylvania and New Jersey for the Blue Hens. Secondly, as far as that's an interesting question. Can Shire finally recruit a point guard? I think he's had point guards on the roster, right? Like, it's not like he's ignored ball handlers. I do think he leans towards positionless basketball and wants guys that can do other things in addition to. But if you just want a straight floor general, at ACC tip-off, we played rapid scouting reports with Malik Brown, one of their veterans, where I just threw all of the new players at him, names, and he had to give one set, a sentence or less on each player. When I said Caden Boozer, he thought for a blink and then said floor general. So Caden Boozer, the not number 3 overall recruit, the number 22 overall recruit of the Boozer twins, kind of has some of that more floor general type aspect, according to Malik Brown. We'll see tomorrow when they play Texas. But thank you for the call, Travis. On to the next here on a Monday Sound Off. Dave in Miami, Florida. We're getting all the way from down south. Wants to sound off on the Panthers. It says here in the notes he did call in from Wake Forest last week, so he's traveling. But Dave, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, what's going on, bro? Hey, it was a couple of weeks ago I called after the Jets game.
Okay.
When they started doing that half and half mess with Hubbard.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just sickening. And, and then, of course, we know what happened last week with the Bills. Sometimes a good butt whooping is good for you, And on that note, and I was talking to some friends on X about it, and I actually typed it up, and I actually looked at it. If you go back to last year and look at the Eagles, when they came out of their bye, going into Week 6, they were at 500. And then they finally got their act together and decided, hey, we got to keep giving the ball to Barkley. Now, I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl. That's what I put it on X. But what I'm saying is, as long as he stays healthy, and Bryce just does stay, just like Philly, throw the ball when you have to.
Mm-hmm.
But, how many times did he carry yesterday? 25?
25 carries, yep.
Okay. And on a defense that was just going to destroy him, right? But I'm going to tell you something else that nobody's talking about. Chuba Hubbard. You got to give that man some respect, man, because of how he is. He's doing, nothing on social media, not fussing, no acting. He just stepped aside like a professional and said, let's go. And, and luckily he was in there yesterday to pick that ball up.
Very, very good point.
And finally they got some fight in them, brother, and they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. And that'll take you a long way.
All right. I appreciate the call. I'm going to build off this a little bit, but we'll let you go here just because we have a lot of callers we want to get to. Thank you.
No worries, man. I just enjoy the show, man. And like I said, I had not called in until this Dowdle thing. And it's like, okay. So, yeah, I'm in Miami. Listen to you guys on the app, man. Love the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Dave. And enjoy Miami. I said it last week. Part of the reason why I think you should have moved to Dowdle earlier is because of everything everyone's told us about Chuba. He's not a guy who's like, oh, I'm not getting 50-50 share. I'm going to go check out. I want to trade. Like, no, he's a leader, right? And by the way, if he wasn't locked in on that fumble, that's a huge play. He scooped it up and picked up yards, like, while everyone else was still trying to figure out what was going on. Like, I give Chuba a lot of credit as a dude. I just give Rico Dowdle a lot of credit as a running back who's on fire right now, and they're a little different. Back to the call-in line here on a Monday Sound Off. We have Lewis in Davie County. You can call in as well, 919-860-5326. It's the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Lewis, you are up next. You want to sound off on the Panthers? Please do so.
Yes, I do. The last time we spoke, a lot's changed since the Dallas game. I'm actually a father now, so shout out to my son.
Hey, congratulations.
And new Panthers fan. And he's actually been born into a winning season, so that's quite a surprise and a happy change of pace. My question for you is, I see a path to the playoffs. I really do.
Okay.
This was a game everyone predicted us to drop. The Saints, those are two games you should win. Avoid the trap, but those are two games you should win. I think Falcons are beatable. If you split one game with the Bucks, do you see a scenario where we can take the division and get into the playoffs via taking the division if we split with the Bucks?
I appreciate the call. I'm going to look up the standings real quick just to make sure I'm not missing anything. But thank you for the call and congratulations on the newborn. Good luck getting sleep. Right now the Bucks are at 6-2. The Panthers are at 5-4. So there's a difference in a game there. I'm bringing up the Bucks schedule. The Bucks have yet to play New Orleans once. They still have to play Atlanta, and they played Carolina twice. I'm sure it's mathematically possible. I don't want to put the cart before the horse here. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of what the Panthers are able to do. I'm not ready to just start penciling in any game as a guaranteed win, right? I'm not, like, even against the Saints. Don't get me wrong, they're a better team than the Saints.
Definitely.
But it's not like, oh, they're going to win that one. It's not, they're not 17-point favorites against the Saints. You need to make sure you're taking care of business before we start counting, like, hey, can we go catch the Bucks? The Bucks have been pretty good for some time now, and they got a quarterback playing really well, and they'll get more healthy as the season goes along. But I do hey, as a fan, you want to start doing that math, that back of the napkin math, go nuts because your team's playing well enough to actually do it for once.
I mean, let's be honest. Their next 2 games are winnable, like you said. Anything can happen. This is the NFL. But 2 very winnable games in the division with the Saints and the Falcons.
Yep. I mean, the Falcons, you've already smoked 30-0.
Yeah.
So you should win. There's just a big difference between should win and penciling it or penning it, right, in ink and as a win. You win the next 2, maybe we start having those conversations.
Yeah, you're 7-4.
Maybe we start having those conversations. Steve in Raleigh, you're up next. Want to sound off on NC State? Let's go ahead and hear it, Steve. We appreciate it, and then sound off.
Yes, thank you. I was not at the game, but I did watch it on TV, and my sound-off is about the ESPN play-by-play announcer. I believe his name is Matt Schumacher. Several times during the game, over and over, he implied that NC State University and the football stadium where the game was being played were in Raleigh, Durham. Well, I'm from Durham. I grew up from Durham, but I went to college and graduated from NC State. I can assure you that NC State University and that stadium are not in Raleigh, Durham. They are in Raleigh. Mm-hmm. But multiple times during the game, he referred to them being in Raleigh, Durham. In addition to that, during the opening kickoff, he was talking about Georgia Tech. And what I'm about to tell you is a quote. Talking about Georgia Tech, he said, "This is the first time since 2021 that a top 10 team comes to Raleigh, Durham." Well, he was wrong about that, too, because 2 years ago, on Labor Day night in 2023, Clemson played at Duke and lost. And Clemson was ranked number 9 at the time. So he was wrong about that one, too. So it was clear to me that this Matt Schumacher did a bad job with his homework and preparing for the broadcast, and for that reason, I hope that he is never allowed to call another game in this area.
All right, Steve, I appreciate it, and I did see quite a bit of that same sentiment online. So, Steve, thank you for the call. I do feel like I have to defend just a hint of my media people out there. He's doing it for the nation, right? You're hoping that people from not right here are watching, and I've lived a lot of different places. A lot of people in this country call the area Raleigh-Durham. Now, it's wrong.
It is wrong.
Don't get me wrong. It's wrong. But if you're watching it from another ACC market, there's a good chance you're understanding what he's saying. It should be fixed, and I actually think it's the worst problem is that it happened, a whole bunch of times. Somebody should have been in his ear first commercial break, because I guarantee, I can tell you, it was on Twitter. Everybody was going, "What is this guy doing?" I'll tell you a quick story here. I had a friend. I worked in Blacksburg I was working my way to this market, but you got to go pay your dues. I was working in Blacksburg covering Virginia Tech, and I had a buddy nationally, not from the area, that was doing color commentary for a Virginia Tech game. And he hit me up, did his homework. "Hey, man, what do I need to know about this team?" And I told him everything, right? The backup guard's going to be playing. The running back's going to be doing this. The coach likes to do this on 4th downs. Gave him the whole works. Didn't tell him that the Virginia Tech community hates when you call them Vatek. Absolutely furious.
They do.
Just didn't cross my mind because it didn't, cross my mind. He goes into the intro and calls him Vatek 5 times. During the first commercial break, he texts me, "Thanks for the heads up on the Vatek thing, Tim," because he was just getting lit up on Twitter. I felt bad. He's not from here. Right? He's a broadcaster brought in to do the game. I think somebody should have helped him out, but it's what it's called elsewhere. It's a really tough one. It's wrong. I'm not defending the correctness of it.
Yeah.
But it is. I'd much rather have an announcer that spends all the prep making sure the game is called perfectly than somebody going in and out of commercial break saying the right, mispronounce a name. That's a bummer. Get it wrong. That's a bummer. But I'm just not up in arms about it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but you should get that one right. Raleigh-Durham is an airport. But we don't say Dallas-Fort Worth, which is an airport. Raleigh and Durham are 2 separate cities. If you're going to be an announcer on ESPN, get it right.
I'm not defending the correctness of it. I'm saying it is what it's called elsewhere. Nobody says I'm going to Dallas-Fort Worth. People do say I'm going to Raleigh-Durham when you're from elsewhere. I'm just saying because it's a media person, and I'm sure there are people out there that have heard me misspeak or say something incorrect on this show. So I'm giving grace. Hopefully that grace will be given. I don't know. I might call someplace in Georgia the wrong thing. Let's go back to the call-in line. Kevin in Clayton wants to talk about Duke. Duke football, I assume, here, but we'll see. Kevin, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Yes, my question is, hey, number one, I love listening to you guys. You're my number one radio station, including guys in front of you.
I appreciate you saying that.
But with that being said, Miami lost, Georgia Tech lost. We lost to Georgia Tech. I work 2 jobs, have a son that plays travel baseball. I didn't keep up much. What does Duke have to do to be in the ACC championship game in football?
It's a great question because I don't think it's a simple one. So I'll do my best breaking it down for you. Obviously, if you talk to Manny Diaz, he'll give you some form of we don't worry about that. If we win the rest of our games, we'll let the chips fall where they may. And I respect the heck out of that type of answer. I would guess if you win out in the ACC, you're in the ACC championship. I would guess. You would have a win over Virginia, which you're playing in 2 weeks on November 15th. Virginia is 12th in the country. You would have a win over Clemson, a win over Cal, win over Syracuse, win over State. And your loss would be to Georgia Tech. If you look at the way the standings are right now, there are 5 teams with 1 loss, and Virginia, who's undefeated in conference. Yes, they did lose to NC State, but that was a non-conference game just to complicate this whole deal. It depends, I think, on who ends up being in the tiebreaker if there is one. But it is, I would guess if you win out, you're in. I would guess. But that don't quote me on that. I'm sure there's some simulator out there. What I can tell you is this. According to FanDuel Sportsbook, Duke is the betting favorite to win the ACC. But obviously that takes into account who would win the game once they get there. So there's added odds there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different scenarios. So for a 2-team tie, I'm actually reading the ACC tiebreaker policy right here. So for a 2-team tie, it's head-to-head in that situation. But if you don't have a head-to-head, it's a win percentage against all common opponents. Okay. And then you're also looking at win percentage. If you have to go to the next level, it's win percentage against common opponents based on their order of finish. And just so anyway, there's a whole bunch of different things. And if 3 or more teams are tied atop of the league standings, then you go to combined head-to-head win percentage among the tied teams if all tied teams are common opponents. It's just there's a lot that goes into it, but there's a lot of teams sitting at 1 loss right now in the ACC. Again, Pitt, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Duke, SMU. There's a lot of teams that are floating around in that area. Actually, I'm sorry, SMU lost, I believe.
And there's SMU is they're 1 loss now. They weren't defeated going into.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they're 4-1 in the conference.
There's a bunch,
but there's a lot of football left to be played in the ACC. I don't think we're going to end with 5 teams, 6 teams, whatever it is, at 1 loss or less. So you have to take care of business. If you win out, I think you'll like your chances. Back to the call lines. Thank you for the call, Kevin. Let's go to Pat in Durham. Wants to sound off on NC State and the Commanders. Pat, welcome to the show. Take it away.
Hey, thanks for having me, and really enjoy your show.
Thank you.
First off, kudos to NC State for pulling off a big win, but I'm looking so forward to tonight for basketball to start.
The reckoning.
Looking forward to seeing what we got. Coaching on the coaching bench and on the floor. And kept on saying, I wish that Washington would show RG3's tape to Jaden Daniels so, he would know what to do and what to slide. But actually, I wish they would show it to the dag-blame coaches because it looks like Yogi is a deja vu all over again. They don't have enough sense to sit him down. And there's no way that guy should have been playing in the fourth quarter. Your franchise, I just can't believe what I saw. Anyway, that's about all I got.
Thank you very much for the call. It is one of the more difficult situations I think a coach is in, where like Jaden Daniels has been hurt. he hasn't been playing, and he's out there and he's playing well and he's moving around, and you have to kind of trust him to protect himself because football players have to play football, right? He'll get better with reps. He wants to play. He needs to play. So sitting him down at the end of blowouts, it's a tough one. If you look at the rest of his team, there's injuries all up and down. The RG3 comparison, I think Jaden Daniels should be able to avoid that and be honest. You got to be honest with injuries, right? I think coaches and RG3 and a whole bunch of people messed that one up. I don't want to use too many similarities there, even though it looks so similar. I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan. Hopefully he bounces back from this. I don't think it's the same as a knee injury as far as long-term effects. So we'll see. But if you're a Washington Commanders fan, you were probably really stoked coming into this year. Probably a little bummed now. Back to the call-in line. We have Gordon in Chicago, who was at the game for the Carolina Panthers against Green Bay, calling in to sound off on Bryce Young. So, Gordon, welcome to the show. Tell us what you want to say.
What's up? Yep, went up to Lambeau, went for the cheesehead, left with the dub. I just want to say, Bryce Young, a lot of criticism, but he's an outright winner. The man wins. A lot of his wins come from game-winning drives, but I unfortunately do feel as if we had a quarterback who could stay in the pocket, deliver throws, maybe throw it downfield, the Panthers could be sitting on a much better record. Also, we got to get Jalen Coker going. I feel as if he's kind of disappeared in the mix.
All right, real quick, when you say he's just a winner, what do you mean by that? Because obviously, he's got like an 11-30 record as a starter, something like that. That would maybe not add up in my head.
Yeah, just, when the ball's in his hand, I feel like he has a chance to go down and close the game out this year specifically.
Okay. All right. I appreciate
he's come through with us a lot.
I appreciate the call and thank you for obviously your boots on the ground insight. I do wonder how much credit we give a guy for like being clutch and digging a team out of a hole when they dug the hole. If you don't throw an interception in the red zone early on, you don't need to drive down for the fourth quarter game-winning score. Obviously, bird flaps or butterfly effect could change it all, but there's a lot of that going on. Like, you're behind in a low-scoring game because the offense can't get going, and then he drives down for a game-winning field goal, which, by the way, I think he plays his best football on those game-winning drives, but he had 19 passing yards. Like, I think if he had a great game finished with a fourth quarter comeback, then it's different than if you throw for 102 yards. It's confusing. I agree more with the second part of whether it's him or someone else. If you have somebody that can test the defense deep downfield a bit better and has the confidence and the pocket presence to do so, it could open up something else. We have two more callers we'll get to here on a Monday Sound Off. Thank you to everybody that called in. We have Micah in Morrisville wants to sound off on the Canes. Micah is one of our regulars here. Micah, welcome to the show. Welcome back. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Couple of things. First, I just want to, I don't know, there's something really weird going on with the Canes, and Rod has mentioned it a couple times, but I have no idea how we never have more than one power play. It makes absolutely no sense to me. There's really something weird going on with the refs, and I don't know if it's because they don't like our team. Like, it makes no sense. We literally dominate the play most of the games, and we got dominated. I think it was against the Avalanche a couple games ago, and they had like 6 power plays. So if we dominate the game like 98% of the time, then we should get at least like 3 power plays, but we somehow only get 1.
I have a thought on that. I have a theory, so I'll give it to you after you're done. You have another point you want to make?
Yeah, like 2.
Okay.
The other thing is the power play is an issue because we get one chance, and then Aho goes out. He loses the face-off. I would love to see the stat, but he never wins the power play face-off. The other team ends up clearing it. Then we go all the way back. We try to enter the zone. We miss on the first entry. Then we finally get in with 50 seconds left. At that time, the first unit is tired, and then we change, and it's just a waste of a power play. So I want Jordan Stahl on the power play to actually win the face-off.
Okay.
Shout out to Nikishin. And then I don't love Jankowski. He was good last season. He's not doing much. He's 6'4". He doesn't use his body, and KK can do what he does, and that's all.
All right. Thank you very much for the call, Micah. I'm going to respond more to the first one because I actually have a theory on it. The reason they're not getting calls, hear me out, because the Canes, as we've talked about a bunch, they don't mind employing smaller guys. I think when the smaller guys get pushed around tripped, whatever, hooked, the refs have a tendency to go, oh, he's just a small guy, so he fell. They didn't really do anything. Meanwhile, when big guys fall, they're like, oh, that must have been bad, and they call the penalty. You're right. They're not getting many power plays. I think some people would be like, good, they're better. Give them shorthanded. They're better scoring there. But in all honesty, you do need to get those calls and go on the power play if you're going to win games against really good teams. That's just one theory I had where I'm going like, geez, they're not getting any calls. And I think it's like the opposite of the Shaq thing, where Shaq used to say he never got any foul calls because, small guys would hit him and they'd go, that doesn't hurt Shaq. I think it's like the opposite. When a small guy falls or gets knocked off course or whatever it is, I think refs are going, it's just because he's little, not because that's not a penalty. And I don't know. That's just my theory. Last one here on the Heister Automotive Group, hotline. On a Monday sound off, it's Gray in Raleigh wants to sound off on the Panthers. Gray, welcome to the show. Take it away.
Hey, Tim, appreciate it. I love the show. My thought on the Panthers, I love what they're doing, loving the running group. I'm curious about the wide receiver crew and what you think on them. In my opinion, I don't know if XL's doing it at this point. He's got a couple good touchdowns on the year, but not much else otherwise. We know Jalen Coker's elite, or at least was last year, and T-Mac even more so. I personally would like to see Jimmy Horn used a little bit more, maybe going deep and kind of getting that separation or using that speed to get people away from T-Mac or Jalen Coker. I think that might elevate Bryce Young's game too. Curious what you think on that, if we maybe traded XL at the deadline or, made Coker the wide receiver too and kept a little more throws on T-Mac, Coker, and Mitchell Evans. I know you talked about him on your segment last week. I think he needs to be tight end one. But curious on what you think about what needs to be done with the wide receivers to maybe elevate Bryce's game and everything away from the rushing game if, we start to utilize that too much or Dowdle gets a little banged up just running every single play.
All right, appreciate the call. There's a lot there. One, I think the team operates best when Bryce is throwing like 25 passes a game. If 10 of them are going to Tetero McMillan, there's not a lot of passes to go elsewhere. You would hope that Coker gets 5. Now you got 10 left. You hope the tight ends get 5. There's 5 left. Whoever's the deep threat has to be the deep threat. Just somebody with speed that can stretch a defense. If it's Jimmy Horn, if it's Xavier Legette, whoever it is. I think it's more you just need enough to keep him honest. And if Tetero McMillan has to be that guy. So it's probably Tetero McMillan gets his, and the rest is game plan specific. I do like Mitchell Evans, though. Don't get me wrong. And I like some of the guys out of the backfield. I think Rico could be used more out of the backfield as a pass catcher. Maybe he's really good between the tackles, but there's a lot of hits between the tackles. Get him in space and let him run out of bounds a few times rather than getting smacked. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to everybody that calls in on those Monday sound-offs. I have a good time with it. In the meantime, Tim Donnelly here for Mainers Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, whatever it is that your house needs, Mainers Service Company is the number to call. And we're talking emergencies and maintenance, right? An emergency being like an electrical emergency is the game's about to come on and all of our electricity just went, or even just the electricity to my man cave where I have 6 screens, right? Whatever it is, that's the emergency call right here, right now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all across the Triangle Service, talking all of Wake County and 50 miles in any direction. But also maintenance, right? Like, hey, it's getting cooler. I'm going to be running my heating a lot. I want to get it all looked at to make sure that when it's really cold outside, it doesn't give way. Give them a call. Get that heating system maintenance call checked out there by Mainers Service Company and everything in between, right? Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. It's all at Mainers Service Company. Give them a call now, 919-361-0993, and bookmark it for those emergencies, 919-361-0993, or visit them online, MainersServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Take a break. When we come back, UNC football got the dub. They beat Syracuse. How sustainable, how repeatable is that? Next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I know this is going to sound crazy, but maybe Bill Belichick was right. Maybe they are getting better, at least on the defensive side of the ball. I've seen improvement there in the last couple of weeks. The truth is, their offense isn't getting any better. Gio Lopez probably isn't a guy that's going to win you any ACC games, but defensively, they do look improved. So maybe we got to hand it to the head coach about that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, you know? Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out the Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
It's Chevrolet truck season at Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford, and the deals are rolling in heavy. Get up to $9,500 off a bold new 2025 Silverado 1500 ZR2, or choose 5.9% APR for 84 months. Includes a Wilkinson discount, customer and bonus cash, and trade assistance. See dealer for details. If you want rugged power and unbeatable value, Wilkinson's got your Silverado waiting. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey. But when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Lopez fakes a screen, now hits the tunnel screen to June. June out into the open. June down the far sideline, fights off a tackler. June's going to take it to the house. 10-5, touchdown, Carolina. Damon June all the way for 6.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. UNC beats Syracuse. ACC win, check. Power Conference win, check. UNC getting better? Showing signs of improvement? Check. I going back to a conversation we had on Friday about this exact UNC team. They were showing signs of life going into this game. And I'm not talking about signs of life of like, hey, CFP contender. No, signs of life of if you're a bad ACC team, they're showing like they'll beat you. Their defense against Cal, really good. Their defense against Virginia, really good. And then they were going up against Syracuse, who, needless to say, was not as good offensively as Cal or Virginia. So you would expect really good. And guess what you got? Gosh darn great. 147 yards allowed. Syracuse had 147 yards of offense. UNC hasn't allowed that few of yards to their opponent since 1997. That's a long time ago. That's the fewest yards allowed by a UNC defense since 1997, which does change the offense. It does. This is what we talked about on Friday. A quarterback that is bad at you need to give us 38 could be good enough for you need to give us 20. But to me, UNC operated differently against Syracuse. Their offense operated under the understanding that nobody was anticipating Syracuse getting it going offensively. 13 carries for DeMond June led to 101 yards and a touchdown on the ground. He had 2 catches for 81 yards, including a 72-yard touchdown. It's his backfield now. At least it should be. And once you get a couple points, once you get a little something, you can start being more conservative if you're that confident in your defense. Now, part of me does say it's Syracuse. They lost their quarterback. Fran Brown was up there in the post game giving the woe is me, right? We want to win games. We did that last year, but we got 12 guys on NFL rosters from last year. He did that whole thing. So let's not act like they went out there and beat, the 2007 Patriots. But if you beat Stanford this week, which is winnable, you got 4 wins. Going into Wake, Duke, and State. Now, I wouldn't say it's likely, but winning 5 games, pulling off a crazy upset and winning 6 changes everything based on where you were a month ago. At the very least, UNC looks like it has a Belichick defense. At the very least. And I'm not saying Belichick defense like the most talented, right? Is the roster good enough? Probably not. And we've had a bunch of people tell us that, right? This isn't just us being too close. We have players or former players, coaches, whoever, analysts on the show. Yeah, the roster's probably not good enough. Fine. Is the offense up to speed? Not for anything significant. There's some good players, but it's not up to, go challenge the best of the best. But is the scheme on defense looking like a Belichick scheme? Looks like it now. Looks like it now. All a Belichick defense does is try to take away what you do best. All a Belichick defense, and this goes back forever and ever, is try to confuse you. Doesn't matter if you're Peyton Manning or whoever the heck Syracuse was floating out there, right? It's the same deal. They're trying to take away what you do best and confuse you. Starting to work. Starting to work. 3 games. Now, again, I don't want to start carving statues, but I do want to give credit where it's due. It was a tornado of negative there. And they, like players especially, every reason in the world to bail, right? Every reason in the world to distance themselves. Start thinking about the transfer portal. Start thinking about how they're going to explain this as, oh, it wasn't me, it wasn't the players, it was this, that, and the third. But instead, they've buckled down. And I want to go back to an image, right? Just an image that I think shows more so the culture changing a bit, right? UNC. This isn't even from this week. It's from the overtime loss to Virginia. When the offense was on the field for UNC in overtime against Virginia, there's a clip of the defense, or no, an image of the defense that got passed around social media. Arms around each other, almost looked like they were posing for like a school picture, right? There was some kneeling on the ground in front. There were a bunch on the standing behind, like they were taking a soccer team picture for like a 9-year-old soccer league, right? That's what the defense was doing, watching the offense, cheering them on. And I had a flashback. I was in attendance as a fan on the road at UCF because my parents live in Orlando and we just went to go watch the game, me, my dad, and my brother. And I remember watching just a disjointed unit. Every time the offense was on the field, the defense was scattered. Every time the defense was on the field, the offense was scattered. And seeing them together was like, oh, that's as much of an improvement as anything I've seen on the field. Maybe something's happening there. I mean, you pay all that money. You don't want to wait till whatever it is, the 8th game, 9th game, whatever game it was, to start seeing that kind of improvement. But better late than never. I still think there's legit complaints about how things have been done, but if winning solves everything, one win solves a few things. And now they get Stanford at home, by the way, 4:30 on Saturday. You win that one. Again, bad ACC teams, look out. Good ACC teams, probably still not worried about you, but bad ACC teams, better look out.
Yeah, how do you follow it up? That's the thing. If you go against Stanford at home this coming Saturday and you have a stinker, what good was the quote-unquote progress?
Well, I mean, success isn't linear. There's two
true.
steps forward, 1 step back, all those sort of things. I think the defense playing well is now that's your calling card. If the offense plays well, that's something that you take a huge amount of stock in, because we really haven't seen them outside of DeMond June a few times this year. Haven't really seen them do much offensively. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, we have the starting five coming up next. Numbers game, whole bunch of good stuff. Before we do that, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here for Loan Pronto. Folks, what if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR. Right now, Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low, so act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com, A+ rated by the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The starting five here on The Drive is coming up next. Don't miss it.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an NFC battle.
Hot dog, man.
It's Arizona and Dallas.
Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
A blown left headlight is making Erica's drive to her son's soccer game darker and darker. So she goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Where a friendly AutoZoner finds her 2 new bulbs.
These lights have the most clarity.
And helps her get back on the road so she can brighten her drive and the cheering section.
All right, all right.
See clearer and drive safer with new lights. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Cool nights and warm afternoons. That's the big weather story this week. Tonight we get down to 42 degrees for the low under mostly clear skies. But by Tuesday afternoon, it's mostly sunny and 68 degrees. Wednesday, we're up to 73 for the high with sunshine.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 226 points today to 47,336.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Before we jump into the starting five, Dennis made a great point during the commercial break. Tonight, we do have Monday Night Football here on 99.9 The Fan, and that includes on our live stream, 99.9 The Fan, the app, and all that kind of stuff. The reason why it's an important reminder today is if you have YouTube TV, you won't be able to watch Monday Night Football. Right now, Disney and YouTube TV are just arguing in the wilderness against each other. So if you have YouTube TV, the ESPN, ABC, all those broadcasts are not available to you. So if you want to listen in, 99.9 The Fan is a place to do that. Dennis, you look more disheartened by that than I think darn near anything I've ever.
I just think it's so dumb. All of it.
Oh, money.
Well, yeah, guess what? You're missing out on money right now.
You think people are unsubscribing? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, I'm sure there actually might be some people unsubscribing to YouTube TV, but I also think as well as that, I think ESPN's trying to play it to the sense of, well, just sign up for our app and you won't miss anything. People are like, well, no, I've already signed up for enough stuff. I'm not signing up for anything else.
You know what would be awesome? You know what would be
crap.
awesome? If we could just give somebody like a provider maybe, just a set fee every month, and they give us all of the different streaming services in one place. Maybe even put them like in a numbered order so I could remember, like, if I want to watch ESPN, it's 32. And then I could just plug that into a remote and go right there. Maybe even give us a channel where all of those are listed and I can scroll up and down to see what's on every single numbered. I'm describing cable. Maybe we could go back like 10 years before all these cord cutters and streaming whatevers and just go back to the way it was. It was better that way. Old man yells at cloud. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time for the starting five. Speaking of numbers, let's get to number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extra attacker out for Carolina. Nikishin tees it up, and he scores! A Russian rocket from Alexander Nikishin, and it's a 2-1 game in Boston.
So the Carolina Hurricanes lost 2-1 over the weekend, Saturday afternoon against Boston. They play tomorrow. It appears as if we might be getting some real shakeup in the lines. At practice earlier today, it was top line Aho centering Taylor Hall and Andrei Svechnikov. Not exactly the top line we've been seeing. Second line, Stankoven centering Ehlers and Blake. Not the second line we've been seeing. Intriguing, but not what we've been seeing.
Very intriguing.
Jarvis paired with Stahl and Martinook, which you'd imagine that's just to get Jarvis maybe away from some of the more physical defenders.
Possibly.
But also he can provide a lot of scoring pop to that line. And then Jankowski centering Kotkaniemi and Doe in the fourth line. It's a shakeup, right? The top line that we've seen this year has been Aho centering Ehlers and Jarvis. None of them are on the same line if this is how we end up seeing it break down tomorrow, which is fascinating, right? Giving everybody a chance to maybe go lead their line. I want to see how it goes. From an injury standpoint, some updates have happened. Keandre Miller, I guess everyone was kind of optimistic that maybe he would get it going on this little road trip here, but now it doesn't seem like he will be. But he's close. Pyotr Kochetkov activated, brought up from the AHL, did have a nice little rehab start down there, stopped 22 of 23 shots with the Chicago Wolves. They'll be rostering 3 goalies for the foreseeable future, it looks like. Other than that, it looks like just a lot of waiting, right? Just a lot of waiting to see when these guys come back. Not ideal, but is what it is. We'll see. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. That is number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
And a yard deep. Hagans is going to bring it out on the right across the 5, the 10, the 15. Looking for a seam. He's got it. And there he goes. Across midfield 30. Samir Hagans make it a house call. Touchdown.
Duke football beat Clemson 46-45. I'll put my hand in the air. I thought this game was over like 6 times before it was actually over. All right, they scored. Game over. Good run. All right, Duke scored. Game over. Good run. All right, look at that. All right, look at that. Fumble. All right, look at that. Game over. And just kept going. 46-45. And it all came down to the decision from Manny Diaz to go for 2 and the win. I love it. And to put it in your best player's hands, which is always the only thing I ask in 2-point conversions, crucial 4th downs, is unless you're going for the real changeup, like the real they'll never see this coming, just put the ball in your best player's hands. Give him a chance. Darian Mensah, as you just heard, found Hagans in the end zone. He finished with 361 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and that crucial 2-point conversion that ended up being the difference, 46-45. I love it. Not to mention, and you'll hear me say this a lot, the reports are out there, right? You paid Darian Mensah $4 million, maybe more with incentives. $4 million. You want him to be the one deciding the game. Hey, we got this guy with $4 million. We handed it off to the guy making $25K. All right, well, how'd that go for you? And I don't know what everyone else's money is. But it shows they've got a dude, and they wanted that person to settle it. Clemson. Remember how I just said a couple minutes ago, I thought this one had ended like 6 different times? Dabo Swinney. Somebody texted me over the weekend, do you think they fired Dabo? And for the first time, I didn't laugh at the person asking me that. I went, you know what? Because he was did you see any of the sideline antics?
Yeah, like yelling at his defense.
Yelling, he was doing the flex thing, both arms, like an angry toddler, and they just didn't respond. Body language is all I'm going off here. There were some defensive players like looking around like, all right, when is he going to get done so we can talk about what we're going to do on this next drive? Like, when that stuff starts or stops being responded to, when you're pulling out every trick you have in your tool bag, when you're doing all of your hits, you're playing the classics, and it's not resonating, that's a dangerous place to be as a coach.
By the way, looking up here from the USA Today, or according to the USA Today, as of December 1st, 2025, so less than a month now, if Clemson fires Swinney without cause, he will be set to receive $60 million.
Not the biggest buyout we've ever seen. Listen, I still very much don't think they're firing Swinney. I think it would have to be 2 seasons this bad consecutively in order for him to be fired. But it's crazy that question could be asked and I didn't go, yee. It's crazy that question could be asked. I mean, Duke beat them. Like, straight up, right? You can get mad at referees' calls. You can get mad at all these things. 46-45.
Like you said, Manny Diaz going for 2 there at the end. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We have Manny Diaz talking about the decision-making, the reasoning behind going for 2.
Yeah, it was a little more time than I wanted, but we felt really good about the 2-point play. And obviously they had been so hot on offense. Do you want to go into overtime here on the road at Death Valley? So we just, if we wouldn't have felt so good about the 2-point play, we probably would have kicked it, but we just felt we had a great chance on it, and it came off just the way we thought.
Do you know what I love about that even more? We loved the 2-point play. Every team has probably 3 2-point plays that you go over every week. You work it into the game script and practice every week. You go through them at walkthroughs every week, and you should feel great about them. Ours was an X shallow. Like, we completed against ODU. Back along the goal line to my buddy Nija. Like, those plays are the ones your quarterback knows best, your running back knows best. You could run them blind. If you don't love your 2-point conversion play so much that in a situation, even if it's not necessary, you're kind of itching to call it because you know it's going to work, get a better 2-point conversion play. Yeah, it's that good. It should be that good. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Lopez fakes a screen, now hits the tunnel screen to June. June out into the open. June down the far sideline, fights off a tackler. June's going to take it to the house. 10-5, touchdown, Carolina. Damon June all the way for 6.
The Drive of Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Number 3 is UNC beating Syracuse. Bill Belichick's first ACC win. You know what? I'm going to take a page out of our conversations about the Panthers. What did I say the Panthers have to win with? We're calling it Dungeons and Dragons. We're calling it D&D. We're calling it defense and dawdle. Well, what's UNC's new blueprint? Carolina blueprint, if you will. D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, Damon and defense.
There you go.
That's what you're building off of. 180 total yards for Damon June. Your running back freshman, by the way, which means probably room to grow upwards. And the defense. And the Bill Belichick, Steve Belichick, Brian Belichick defense. If you can hold your opponents to 10 in regulation, which, by the way, is what they've done each of the last 2 weeks against ACC opponents. Virginia, very good ACC offense, and Syracuse, very bad ACC offense. Both were held to 10 points in regulation in their last 2 games. If you can hold your opponent down somewhere near 10, and you have a running game that can get going when asked, yeah, I think that's a Carolina blueprint for winning games, or at least being in games. Which I think is let me walk this back a little bit here. Against Cal, they lost 21-18. They had a fumble down on the goal line by a wide receiver. If he holds on to the ball, they probably win that game. Against Virginia, they made the same going for 2 decision that we just praised from another coach. We praised it for Bill Belichick. Didn't love the play call as much. Praised it for Bill Belichick. Finished, 4 inches or something short of the goal line. They convert that. They won.
And also, you fumbled the ball at the goal line earlier in that game, too.
Very true.
Yeah.
Now, you're not allowed to do this in sports, right? You can't be like, if you take away those 2 plays, we're 3-0 over the last 3. But if you take away those 2 plays, you're 3-0 over the last 3. And you're coming up on Stanford, a game that makes a lot of sense that you'd win, and your defense is playing absolutely lights out. Now, what does all that get you? Well, it got you 1 win against Syracuse, right? Like, let's not act like it got you something else. But maybe confidence? Maybe a defense that gets to strut their stuff a little bit? Maybe a defense that walks in and looks into your opponent's eyes and knows we can get you? A little bit of confidence goes a long way in a college football locker room. Defense telling the offense, get us 21 points. And matter of fact, we'll set you up on a short field one time. So you need to get us like 2.5 touchdowns. That's it.
Also as well, credit to the UNC defense, obviously. The 1 score by Syracuse was not allowed by the defense. The 1 touchdown.
True.
So the defense for UNC only gave up 3.
Very true. It's a Belichick defense. It's starting to look like a Belichick defense. And that's a good sign. And side note, and I've said this a few times, they've continued recruiting pretty well since. They got another commitment from a 4-star over the weekend. There might be some momentum here. They got some ground to make up just to get to level based on the first 6 games, 7 games, whatever it was of their season. But there might be some momentum. Don't look now. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2. Snap at the Georgia Tech 31. Bailey, handoff. Scott sees Part, sprints 20. Duke Scott 10, touchdown. Deal sealer, Duke Scott. 31 yards down the near sideline. NC State's going to upset 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, and Carter Finley loses
loses its mind.
NC State won an absolute classic shootout against Georgia Tech. An absolute classic against Georgia Tech. It's a very Dave Doran win. You ready for this one, Dennis? I've got some
Go on.
Some accolades.
All right.
Dave Doran has been named the Dodd Trophy Coach of the Week.
Okay.
That's a national award, the Dodd Trophy Week 10 Coach of the Week for Dave Doran.
Well deserved.
Which makes sense. You took a team that was kind of reeling and beat the number 8 team in the country by double digits and scored 48. It's good. That's very good. And Duke Scott. How about that one? Your backup running back is forced into bell cow usage because Hollywood Smothers, who, if he didn't get hurt, was probably in line to be one of the all-ACC running backs. We'll see what his final stat line ends up looking like if he can come back and keep playing. But you get your backup in there, and he runs for 196 yards. Picks up a couple catches to go over 200 total yards. Your quarterback throws for 340. Your offense has themselves a day. Here's Dave Doran on the big day for Duke Scott, the running back.
I'm not surprised at all. I mean, that was the 16th ranked rushing defense in the ACC. We thought we could run the football on them. They play a lot of cover two, which gives you an opportunity numbers-wise to hand the ball off and run it. And Duke's way faster than people know. That's why we've made him a kickoff returner. Obviously, we didn't tonight because he had more on his plate in the backfield. But I'm not surprised. I mean, you come to practice every day since he's been here, and you see what kind of electric player he is. And all through high school, the kind of player he was there. So we got a really good tandem in that backfield. And tonight he had to step up and take on the entire load. And obviously he did a tremendous job.
So just real quickly here, and I want to prove that it's not 2020 hindsight, him talking positively about the guy. Like, oh, I'm not surprised after somebody runs for 196 yards. It's like, hey, you're a little surprised. We talked to Dave Doran preseason, and he told us Duke Scott is a dude. And I remember at the time I looked him up because I was like, all right, let me go see what he's talking about, right? I thought this was going to be the Hollywood Smothers show, which Hollywood Smothers was so good it kind of was. But Duke Scott at one point in time was the third fastest in the 100-meter dash in high school in the state of Georgia. Georgia's got some speedsters out there, particularly on the track side. He had 100-yard dash times like under 11. 10.88, 10.92. That is flying. And then he showed off some of that speed in the game. I still think the defense is a question mark for NC State, right? You give up 38 just because or 36 just because your offense scores 48 doesn't mean you didn't give up all those points. Haynes King threw for 400, ran for 100 for Georgia Tech. That's going to be, the defensive coordinator after the game is smiling through the pain, right? You're in that victorious team locker room, excited for the win. You upset the number 8 team in the country, and in the back of your brain, you just have film running through your head. Like, there's very much a tale of two units in that game, but it does show how high the ceiling is for the offense.
You think Haynes King's just looking around the locker room going, guys, little help here? Little help?
That did happen. It was the Bengals.
Yeah.
The Bengals in the postgame because they scored $1 billion, but the Bears scored $1 billion and one. Like, there were legit offensive players going, we just needed one stop. Flacco's taking us up and down the field over here. Just needed one, guys. And if they said that to the media behind closed doors, it was a more colorful version. There may be some of that. There may be some of that in the Georgia Tech locker room, but probably not because Brent Key would have them run for days. As number 2, let's get to number 1.
The one! Jansen the snap, Martin the hold, Fitzgerald drives the leg, the kick is up, it is good! Ryan Fitzgerald delivers, and Carolina silences Lambeau Field!
The Panthers beat the Packers over the weekend. Let that sink in. The Panthers beat the Packers in Green Bay over the weekend. 16-13. The Panthers beat the Packers. And it was D&D. Dowdle in defense, right? It was D&D. It was Rico Dowdle, who the Panthers have finally bought in on. It's no more we're mixing in Rico when Chuba needs a break. It is Rico Dowdle, and if he has to come out, we'll put in Chuba Hubbard for a couple plays. And Chuba played that role well. Give him credit for staying engaged and staying locked in. But Chuba's on an all-time heater right now.
Being Rico?
What do I keep saying?
You said Chuba had on heater.
Rico's on an all-time heater right now. Like a surprisingly crazy all-time heater right now. And I want to give a shout-out to, let me make sure I can find it. I put it somewhere. The Rico Dowdle story is absolutely insane. Okay? I'm going to find it. Give me 2 seconds here. I've got it somewhere. Maybe I don't. Basically, the Rico Dowdle story. His senior year at South Carolina, his final year at South Carolina, he was backup.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Tavian Feaster was the starter.
Yeah, he was the second leading rusher in his final year in 2019.
He is undrafted. Then, over his first 3 years in the NFL, he plays like 3 snaps on offense. He's a special teamer.
He had 7 total carries. Now, he did miss, I think, a full season because of a hip injury, I think, in 2021. So he did miss a chunk of time because of an injury.
Finally is given the backfield after years in Dallas. And he runs for 1,000 yards, and they immediately give up on him and say, hey, 3 point whatever million per season, that's way too rich for our blood, for you. Get out of here. He goes to the Panthers, where he's the 33rd highest paid running back in the NFL this year. And he looks like he's a mix of like prime Le'Veon Bell and I don't know, we'll throw in like a little, because he runs harder, like more physical, seeking out contact, like Marshawn Lynch. We'll go crazy. He's running, every time you give him 20 carries or more, he's running for 130 yards. It's that obvious. And this time, it's against the Packers. It's not against Miami or Dallas. It's not against these, you should do it against those teams. This is a real productive running back that has done it consistently enough that if they continue to get this type of efficiency out of him, they might be some. That's a big if, but maybe.
The Packers came into the game 4th best in the NFL in yards per carry allowed defensively, just 3.7. Dowdle yesterday was 5.2.
And if you want to, dive into it, and we're going to have this conversation at some point this week, it's not like the Packers defense was being kept real honest with the passing game.
No.
102 yards passing for Bryce Young. 19 of them came on the final drive.
Did you know that Rico's yards per carry was higher than Bryce Young's yards per attempt?
You know what? I should be surprised by that. That's what it looked like. It looked like you were picking up more yards by handing it to Rico than you were every time he dropped back.
Yeah, 5.2 for Rico per carry. Yards per attempt for Bryce, 5.1.
The Panthers, at least, and I keep calling it their plan A, like the best way they operate, when things are going well, they know what they are now. When things are going well, they're D&D. They're Dowdle in defense. I'm still fascinated to see what happens when Rico Dowdle gets bottled up, because we haven't seen it yet. Since he's emerged, every game that he's been given the ball a decent amount, he's had his way with the defense. What do the Panthers do if he gets his first 12 carries and isn't picking up 6 yards a carry? I don't know. The first drive, he had 2 carries for 12 yards, and somehow they punted without getting a first down. Like he's good even when the team isn't. They needed a game-winning drive with like 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. They ran it with Rico. He's that darn good.
Also, props to him. You can tell he was dealing with like some sort of knee, groin injury. Like he was running through something yesterday. Powered through it. Props to him. I hope that he can stay healthy. Yep. That's a major question.
Yep. Or you know what? If he doesn't, Chuba Hubbard, take your job back. Go for 200 yards when he's out.
Yeah, for real.
Which, by the way, I do want to point this out, and I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Shout out to the offensive line. Like, the nature of the offensive line is you're not going to get the credit. But they're a mash unit up there. Who's healthy? All right, cool. Go play. We've got 9 dudes that we like, maybe 10. If any 5 of you can stand upright, you're playing offensive line today. And Rico will get all the love and credit when you guys open up holes for him. I do want to give Rico one more shout out here. His vision is unreal. The offensive line was opening holes, don't get me wrong, but he almost never pressed it when he should have bounced it when he should have pressed it. He was reading pulls and everything else exceptionally well. Might be the reason why he's been as efficient as he is he's almost never, whether he's fast, slow, whatever, he's almost never in the wrong place in the running game, which happens quite a bit in the NFL, right? Defensive players are trying to show one way, pop the other. He was setting up guys doing a great job. And shout out to Jordan Love for not finishing drives down in the red zone. That helps a lot as well. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the starting five. Now it's time for the numbers game. I know what we have. I wrote it down. It is Dropkick Murphy tickets.
Yes, it is. Dropkick Murphy tickets. I don't know why I got cleared off our dock. My apologies on that one. Yes, but we have
had it written down. Dropkick Murphy's tickets go to the winner of the numbers game. I'll give you all the details on where and when and everything. I'm being pointed to, which means
I got it right here
refresh
for you real
this.
fast.
All right, go ahead.
So, win a pair of tickets to see Dropkick Murphys at the Ritz right here in Raleigh on February 14th, so Valentine's Day.
Nice.
Pair of tickets.
Nice. Dropkick Murphys tickets go to the winner of the numbers game, but to get the tickets, you got to call in. You got to win. The number to call, 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326 for your chance to play the numbers game and potentially win Dropkick Murphys tickets. Numbers game is coming up next. Call in now.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Man, it started off rough for Dan Campbell. He was able to right the ship. One day, we started out 0-10-1. Everybody was going back to the introductory press conference, talking about how awkward it was, being a kneecap biter and all of that stuff. Now everybody loves that stuff. Just give it time to fully bake when it comes to Aaron Glenn. He can't go winless, but I think Aaron Glenn finds a way to keep his job going into 2026.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, as we said before the break, tickets to see Dropkick Murphys on Valentine's Day. And they are at the Ritz on Valentine's Day. That's February 14th. As always, we'll bring each of our contestants on to the show. They will answer a question. Dennis will be the judge. He'll pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. We have Corey in Cary, and we have John in Raleigh on the line. We'll start with Corey in Cary. Corey, welcome to the show. The question for today...
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Question for today is, as it so often is on Mondays, we just finished a weekend. What was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, we ask that you make sure it is related to sports in some way, shape, or form.
The highlight of my weekend, I'm a State alum, so it was definitely watching State beat Georgia Tech.
That's a pretty good one. Dennis, any follow-ups?
Were you in attendance?
I was not. No, I watched it from home, but I was definitely jumping up and down. I thought it might be a trap game for Georgia Tech, and with State's offense, I thought we might have a shot, and I was happy to see it work out.
All right. There you go. Corey locked in. Had the analysis for you. John and Raleigh's up next. John, same question to you. We just finished up a weekend. What was the highlight of your weekend? But keep it sports related because we're a sports show.
The highlight of my weekend was Duke at Clemson.
All right. Dennis, any follow-ups on this one? You turn your mic on?
Were you at the game?
I was not.
Okay.
All right.
But just to see them win.
Same follow-up. All right, Dennis, this puts you in an awkward spot.
It really does.
Is it State over number 8 Georgia Tech, or is it Duke over Clemson on the road for the first time since, 1980?
1980. Yeah, both phenomenal games, both phenomenal wins for both programs.
State, a little bit of a payback for when Georgia Tech caught them when State was ranked in the top 10 with Phillip Rivers back in the day.
That's right.
Duke getting the at Clemson weight off their shoulders. There's a lot going on here.
You take down a top 10 team, I'm probably going to lean towards that one. I'm probably going to go that. Both great answers, though. Phenomenal answers. I'll go Corey in on this one here, just for the simple fact that top 10 win. But, man, that was both phenomenal.
At the beginning of the year, I told you we're going to have two teams. One beats Clemson, one beats Georgia Tech. And your tiebreaker is, well, they beat a much better team. And that leans towards Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
Didn't see that one coming.
No, did not.
Did not see that. That means Corey and Carrie gets to go first, right? Corey and Carrie, you get to go first. Don't worry. John, you'll have your shot. Just have to sit on hold for a second. Corey, can you hear me? And are you ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right. The categories are NFL players with early November birthdays, NFL players that at some time or another were teammates of Davante Adams, NBA players from Europe, so these are all European players, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. In this category, I will say the team, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, I'm good.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Andrei Svechnikov, Carolina Hurricanes.
37.
Correct. Mike Riley, Carolina Hurricanes.
6.
Correct. Patrick Brown, Carolina Hurricanes.
14.
Incorrect. Glenn Wesley, Carolina Hurricanes.
2.
Correct. Danny Biega, Carolina Hurricanes.
55.
Incorrect. Patrick Brown, Carolina Hurricanes.
23.
Incorrect. Danny Biega, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Incorrect. Patrick Brown, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Nope. Which I always feel like when someone guesses after the whistle, I almost feel good when they don't get it right because it's less regret. Either way, you got 3. You got Svech, you got Riley, you got Wesley. Brown, we were looking for 36, and Biega, we were looking for 41. Those were the ones if you're playing at home. But 3 is a solid number. Good start to a Monday. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up.
Thanks.
That brings us to John and Raleigh. John, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players with early November birthdays, NBA players that are European, or NFL players that were Davante Adams' teammates at some point or another.
Let's go with NFL players that were Davante Adams' teammates.
Okay. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number at some point or another. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. They were all Davante Adams' teammates at some point or another. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least 4 for the victory. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Sauce Gardner, New York Jets.
1.
Correct. Max Crosby, Las Vegas Raiders.
98.
Correct. Randall Cobb, Green Bay Packers.
10.
Incorrect. Blake Corum, Los Angeles Rams.
32.
Say it again.
32.
Incorrect. Ha Clinton Dix, Green Bay Packers.
22.
Incorrect. Randall Cobb, Green Bay Packers.
11.
Incorrect. Blake Corum, Los Angeles Rams. I'm sorry, I had a really hard time hearing you on that Blake Corum guess. You got 2. Unfortunately, that is not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun.
Yeah, it was a great time.
All right, try again. I will give you the ones if you're playing at home. Sauce Gardner, 1. Max Crosby, 98. Randall Cobb, 18. I agree with him. He feels like a 10 in Green Bay.
Yeah, he said 10. I was like, all right, close.
It's the same shape, like, the skinny one with the fat second number.
There you go.
I don't know, geometry in these play into my brain. Blake Corum, 22, which I think he said 32.
He said 32.
Okay, and I clarified there. Then for HaHa Clinton Dix, he guessed 22, but he needed 21. So there was a lot of shifting around there that could have done better.
Hit the post a couple times.
Yeah, exactly. Ranked the post a few times. Either way, Corey and Carey's the one that found the back of the net because he gets the Dropkick Murphys tickets. Corey, congratulations.
Thanks so much.
You are very welcome. You earned it, though. Don't thank us. You earned it. Thank yourself and your knowledge of jersey numbers. Go ahead and stand the line, and Dennis will get the info he needs to make sure you get your prize.
All right.
There you go. While we have some time here, I do want, just because there's so much craziness from over the weekend, college basketball starts today. I'm not sure if we're going to have time to address it any other day, but the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series. The series was bonkers. We've been following it mostly by tracking Trey Savage, who pitched at ECU not long ago, and he made a relief appearance, gave up 1 run, but he might have been the MVP if the Blue Jays would have won. Instead, in 11 innings in Game 7, the Dodgers got the win. Minuscule centimeters, millimeters, the difference in some of the calls at the plate. It was an absolutely unreal series. The Blue Jays were up 4-2 as late as the 7th inning. That's when Savage gave up the home run to make it 4-3, but then he got out of the inning. All they had to do was make it through the 9th. Rojas homered. It was a bananas game. Absolutely ridiculous. If you look at the line graph that gives you win probabilities, ESPN runs it all the time. At one point in time, Toronto was a 91.7% winner. Obviously, they didn't win. Brutal on many accounts, but you got to give both teams a shout out for giving us a heck of a series. I'm not exactly stoked that the Dodgers are back-to-back World Series champs. You spend the most, you win. It kind of feels like a meh if you're not a Dodgers fan, but you can't argue that the series wasn't absolutely electric. Max Scherzer out there on the mound. You got to give a shout out to Yamamoto, who pitched. Probably, if we're being real, probably like a top 10 pitcher's performance in the World Series. Some are calling it number 1. I don't put it above Madison Bumgarner. I don't put it above Randy Johnson. I'm sure if you go back further into the old-timey baseball, there's a few more. But if you're being talked about as one of the 10 best pitching performances in a World Series, that's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. The Dodgers did trot out, $1.7 billion worth of pitchers' contracts in Game 7. Ohtani pitched, Glasnow pitched, Snell pitched, Yamamoto pitched. These are multiple $100 million players in many cases. Not to act like the Blue Jays don't also spend money, but it was a really fun series. Dodgers are your World Series champions. Is what it is. Everybody's chasing LA. Everybody's trying to knock them off the king of the hill until it happens. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. From the outside, other countries, LA, all the money, to right here locally. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. I say right here locally because Miller Lending is owned right here locally, right? When you call somebody with the number I'm going to give you in a minute, you're talking to somebody in the 919, in Cary, locally owned here in the Triangle, and somebody that knows the market here locally, right? Somebody that understands how much a no-cost loan can help you out. A no-closing cost loan. And that means no closing costs, no hidden fees, no surcharges. They didn't just rename it and charge you on a different page. No closing costs when you use a no-cost loan from Miller Lending. And what that does is it allows you to get into the house that you want, right? The house that has the right square footage, has the right backyard, right? Get in the house that you want. Now, with the understanding that if rates come down, you'll refinance. Again, no money out of your pocket, no fees, no closing costs, just the lower monthly rate. And with the idea being you don't have to buy down rates a whole bunch and spend a whole bunch of money. You just get the rate now with the anticipation of refinancing if the rate is higher than you want it, right? If you would have grabbed it, I don't know, in January, it's already down a point and change since then. Refinance, get the lower monthly payment, and you didn't have to pay the thousands of dollars to buy down the rate. So give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. If your rate starts with a 7 right now, you definitely want to make that call. At least look them up online, MillerLending.com. That's MillerLending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. Next, Duke football. Are they in the driver's seat to win an ACC championship? Next.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an NFC battle.
Hot dog, man.
It's Arizona and Dallas.
Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Welcome home from Baker Home Exteriors. Your home is not just where you live, it's where life happens. We're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same dedication to your home. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Your home deserves nothing less. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This sports report is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be located in North Carolina.
Deep. Hagans is going to bring it out on the right across the 5, the 10, the 15. Looking for a seam. He's got it. And there he goes. Across midfield 30. Samir Hagans make it a house call. Touchdown. And there are no flags on the field. And Duke is an extra point away from tying it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Duke beat Clemson 46-45 over the weekend. Now, that win in and of itself, kind of a weight off Duke's shoulders. They beat Clemson at Clemson for the first time since 1980. Darian Mensah, who they've reportedly paid a pretty penny in NIL, lived up to all expectations. Threw for 361 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Had the ball in his hand with the game on the line. Got a nice little call from the ref on a pass interference late in the game. Took advantage of it, scored the touchdown, got the 2-point conversion, and they walk away winners. There was a bit of Clemson not playing great or making boneheaded mistakes, but Duke had to be there to take advantage of it, right? Like, Clemson left Cooper Barkate wide open. Like, glaringly open. It looked... what it looked like. I don't know if anyone's ever done this. I used to do it all the time as a kid. You ever play Madden or NCAA football and go with the rogue corner blitz?
Yeah, at times.
It's not called. It's not in the play at all, but you just control the corner and go kamikaze, like Leroy Jenkins, and fly into the backfield. Every once in a while, they would just toss it over your head for a wide-open touchdown. That's what it looked like. Barkay was just out there wide open. The camera panned to him, and there was just nobody from Clemson, and he ran 70-something yards for a touchdown. Sure, is that Clemson messing up? Yes. But you had to recognize it. You had to complete the pass. You had to score. You had to do it, and Duke did. Which puts them in a really interesting situation. Right now, I would say kind of conservatively, maybe not conservatively, but fairly, the ACC is a jumbled mess. Virginia leads the ACC in conference standings at 5-0 in conference. But you know what's crazy about that? They've lost to an ACC team. They lost to NC State. It was just a non-conference game. So they're 8-1, 5-0 in conference. They're at the top. Georgia Tech is 5-1. Pittsburgh, we're talking in ACC conference, which is what the standings are based off of. Georgia Tech is 5-1. Pittsburgh is 5-1. Louisville is 4-1. SMU is 4-1, and Duke is 4-1. Everybody else has at least 2 losses. If you go to certain sports books right now, Duke is the betting favorite to win the ACC. Now, we tried to break it down earlier. I don't pretend to understand all of the, I'm sure it's a math equation on how all of these can break down and what tiebreakers could happen. I'm sure there's a way where there's like a 7-way tie for who makes the ACC championship, and they're down to who scored the most points against common opponents on the road in games that started on Thursdays. I'm sure it could happen. I'm going to tell you why I think Duke is the betting favorite on many sports books, and some others. I mean, it's right there behind Virginia. Virginia might be number 1, and Duke is just a hair behind. I don't think it's because they beat Clemson. I don't think it's they beat Clemson, 46 points scored. Now they're for real. I don't think that's it. I think it's because sports books can look at what Duke has shown, and they like what it would look like if they put it all together. Right? Because when you're playing percentages, you do have to predict, right? You have to look forward and think of what's most likely. And I think a big part of it is if all of these teams, all those ones I just mentioned, right? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in the ACC with 1 loss or less. And you know what? You can probably throw Miami in there just because they have 2 losses. And maybe, a 2-loss team ends up getting in if everybody beats each other in a way. But if these teams put it all together, like A-plus game against A-plus game, who wins? Keep in mind, Virginia's 12th in the country. Louisville's 14th in the country. Georgia Tech's 16th in the country, and they were as high as 8th going into last week before they lost to NC State. I think if you said we get the A-plus game of all these teams, Duke is who the sports books like, who the sharps like.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to say because they're, overall 5-3, and they actually, had to escape a few times. I think they might be the most complete team, especially if Nate Shepherd can get going on the ground.
Yeah.
The defense has some good players, and you have Manny Diaz, which gives you a certain ceiling. Your offense has Darian Mensah in that passing game, and at times when Nate Shepherd gets going, the running game is right there with it, but they have a good offensive line, which gives you a certain baseline for offense. We haven't seen it yet. But if Duke puts it together, I think they're in the driver's seat for the ACC.
We just haven't seen Duke consistently on defense.
Correct.
Or play high level on defense consistently this year. That's the big concern for me when it goes to them going forward. They beat NC State. They gave up 33 against NC State. That was a shootout.
If they put it all together, they'll end up winning games where they score a bunch and hold the other team.
Yeah.
But they've also won kind of both of the other kind of games, or at least they've won the shootouts, right? Their offense is not afraid to say, defense isn't having the day we want them to. we got to go score.
Oh, for sure.
Which gives them almost two ways to win, which I think is what I'm getting at, right? Like they can win when the defense plays all right. They can also flip the switch and air it out. That's what Darian Mensah does. And you would hope that Manny Diaz, with all of the defensive experience that he's brought up, will get their defense playing better, especially when you look at the talent. I know they've suffered some injuries, but they got some dudes on that side of the ball. Beating Clemson 46-45, that's not going to get it done, right? You can't give up 45 points and expect to win, but that offense has something to them. That offense has something to them. Now you look around the ACC. This was actually, I should say this. I'm going to remove our rooting interests here. If you are just if you're somebody, you go to games and you don't wear a team's hat, you wear a hat that says ACC, like you're the Rob Lowe of the ACC. This was a bad weekend for you. Georgia Tech lost, which they were supposed to be one of the CFP teams. Miami lost. They were supposed to be one of the CFP teams. It is parity in the Atlantic Coast Conference right now, which means we are through, whatever week this is, week 9? Is that where we're at? And there's still 8 teams alive for the ACC championship. That doesn't happen many years, right? Usually there's the haves and the have-nots. This is still very much up for grabs, which is why I went into the talk about predictions. You got to project. There's not a ton of teams that are mathematically eliminated here, but also darn near every team that's in the mix has some other team that's in the mix on. Duke plays Virginia, which makes you feel like, hey, you beat Virginia, you kind of control your own destiny. But if you look at any of the teams that are in the mix, they play another team that's in the mix, right? It's not like Pitt is over there well, we just got to sit around and wait. They also play Georgia Tech and Miami. There's going to be a ton of gigantic games down the stretch.
We have some de facto playoff games essentially this month.
But it's because here's we had a caller call in and say what does Duke have to do? And I basically all I said is if you win out, you got to like your chances. But they're playoff games in that if you lose, I think you eliminate yourself. But I don't if the Duke-Virginia game, I'm not sure if Duke wins that, if they're definitely in. You know what I mean? I'm pretty confident if they lose that, they're definitely out. But it's it's like a playoff game with only the bad part, right? It's not hey, it's a playoff game where if you win, you advance. It's a playoff game where if you lose, you're eliminated. And if you win, you might still be eliminated. We have to see what happens around the ACC. I'm not sure there's not a path where Duke finishes the ACC schedule with 1 loss and doesn't get in the ACC championship, which feels wrong, but it could happen. Right? Pitt has 1 loss, and I just brought it up. Pitt has 1 loss and doesn't play Duke. So if they make it and Georgia Tech goes through 1 loss, having already beat Duke, Duke doesn't make it into the playoff.
Well, Pitt's got to play Georgia Tech. So if Pitt wins their last few games, that includes beating Georgia Tech. So that puts Georgia Tech at 2 losses in conference.
So that was a bad hypothetical.
Okay.
But there's a million webs to weave, right? You just find somebody who doesn't play Georgia Tech or Duke, which there has to be.
Well, Louisville. Louisville, for example, has Cal, Clemson, SMU, and then they finish off the year non-conference with Kentucky.
So I don't know what all the tiebreakers are, but there's a chance Duke goes undefeated from this point forward. Pitt goes undefeated from this point forward. And Louisville goes undefeated from this point forward. And they all have 1 loss, and somebody won't make it. And that feels wrong, but it's possible. So all you can do is kind of what we described, right? Win out, you like your chances. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and SMU 1 loss in the conference, but they played Louisville, also 1 loss in the conference, so that's a de facto elimination game, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a world where a 2-loss team can get in because all these teams play each other, right?
It's weird.
It's a gross web of either you think the entire ACC leveled up, or it's a gross web of mediocrity where every team, could win, but every team could lose because there's no true dominant teams. I like Duke's chances based on their schedule and how they've played. That Virginia game is looming large, just absolutely gigantic. And it feels weird that Virginia should be 1 loss in conference, but they're not. NC State's like, we already took care of that. Actually, NC State won't be in the mix because they already have 3 losses. I was going to say, does that come into the head-to-head tiebreaker? The non-conference game between 2 teams? Do they have language for that? But it won't happen because State has 3 losses in conference anymore. So there goes that fun. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. Up next, we have Panther Talk. So you'll hear all about the win over the Packers from Anish Shroff, the voice of the Panthers, and Dave Canales, and others. So that's coming up next. We'll be back tomorrow. Monday Night Football here tonight as well, especially if you don't have it on YouTube TV. We'll see everybody. Have a great night.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan, from my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program for over